Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, welcome back to another episode of The Cave Podcast. This is that podcast where we keep you up to date with regards to all things related to money, investments, economy and growth in the context of Muslims. Before we dive in to introducing our panel and the topics, I just want to inform you guys, inshallah ta'ala, that many of you may or may not be aware, we have a network of high net worth and ultra high net worth slaves of Allah Azza wa Jal, people that have come from many different backgrounds. They've exited from companies. They're investors of very high caliber. And the kind of problems that are unique and specific to people of this niche, this echelon, they solve each other's bottlenecks. They connect with each other and they build friendships and brotherhoods, all in the context of this deen. So, our network is currently global. It's here in the UAE, in the UK, the US, Canada, Europe, and it's growing. So if you're interested, you want to be a part of this growing community, you can apply at the link below. We have a very rigorous process verifying and vetting the quality and the standard of those applications. But inshallah ta'ala, if you are built for it, you'll be given a chance to join us. I also just want to mention that for the members of the network, we have our first of our 4 annual retreats. It's going to be our Righteous Rides. It's actually the 5th, 6th time that we're doing it now, inshallah ta'ala. It's a supercar road trip. And don't worry, we're not people that are hedonistic and into supercars, even though you are. It's a half of the Quran in supercars. Allah barik. But the point is, we're going to enjoy the cars. It's going to be fun. We're going to drive up mountains, come back, spend a weekend in a private island, connecting, doing deals, networking, solving each other's bottlenecks, getting feedback on how everyone's deploying assets, what are their tax strategies, all that good stuff, inshallah ta'ala. This is only for members of the networks if you want to be there. As you can see on screen, this is from the last one that we had.
We're going to be turning right up ahead, yeah? We're turning right up ahead.
The drive up here was insane.
After we're done talking business and money, and we're done talking deen, we're about to go in.
I'm seeing people who are 5-10 steps in front of me. Where else would I find that? Nowhere, I'm telling you.
The networking, the people are here are serious, man.
I already thought I had ambitious goals, but the last 24 hours has actually led me to think I need to go higher with my goals, go more ambitious, and really aim for that ceiling, and break that ceiling.
I'm ready to turn my business into $1 billion business with Allah. I'm leaving this place literally having things figured out with Allah.
Started my first business in 1991 in the Channel Islands of all places.
Talking about money, encouraging the money, doing all these event money. It's not about the money. It's about what you can do with the money.
These missions that we're talking about, these great things that we want to accomplish, it's very possible and plausible that due to Allah's wisdom, you won't achieve that. Allah could change the course and the trajectory of your life. But if you had that intention and you died on that, you're successful. And we just want our brothers to just unleash these marketing bottlenecks and just scale their businesses so they can make that money and then do khair with it for the sake of Allah.
To support each other, teach each other, learn from each other, collaborate.
You need me to say any words that are not going to do this justice.
The value that you get is priceless.
If you missed out, you missed out. But there's always the next one. Inshallah, I'll see you there.
You can apply also at the link below, inshallah ta'ala. Now, with that said, what are the topics that we're going to be discussing today? We're on the eve of the new Gregorian year, the new solar year. So we're going to talk about 2026. What does 2026 look like for Muslims in the media? We're talking about alternative media, podcasts, online, social media. What our panel thinks is going to be pertinent for Muslims, especially in the entrepreneurial space in that regard, inshallah ta'ala. We're also going to look at what are some things to look out for. What should we be paranoid about in 2026? We're going to talk about economic opportunities for Muslims that we need to be taking advantage of in 2026. And I think you're going to get a lot of good depth here because our panel has a broad background. Everyone's coming from different places, inshallah ta'ala. So I think the spectrum and the quality of what you're going to get today is going to be very juicy, inshallah ta'ala. We're also going to ask our panel about where they're going to be planning to focus the allocation of their assets for next year, right? And also not just assets in terms of finances, but even time and resources in general. And then we'll talk about Gen Z Muslims. We've noticed and we spent a lot of time with Gen Z Muslims that are millionaires, Allah barik, entrepreneurs. And there are different, species, right? There's good and there's bad. There's good and there's bad. And I think that, some advices are due to them and also some things to learn from them. So we can talk about that, inshallah ta'ala, because I think we're going to see a lot more millionaires. And I'll tell you why I think we're going to see a lot more millionaires next year, inshallah ta'ala. Remind me to mention that. But I actually have data that we are going to have an influx of Gen Z millionaires. I've actually got data. You know why? These are the ones that don't qualify for the cave. Just yet. We can see their numbers.
Yeah.
So they're just shy of qualifying for the cave.
I hope they're not crypto boys. Ya Rab, I hope they're not crypto boys.
And then inshallah some interesting things happen, man. We're going to talk about this article that came out, Harvard Business Review published in their newest publication about fast advertising, which is a type of advertising that's a bit different to direct response, normal just running ads on Meta. It's unique, it's in line with culture, something that I actually like, and I spent better part of a decade doing it, but I've stopped recently, and this was like a good reminder. So I want to discuss that with you guys, inshallah ta'ala. We're going to talk about how Saudi Arabia is actually in the process of negotiating the peace deal between Russia and the USA. As in, even Trump couldn't do it on his own, but a Muslim nation happens to be the one that's actually facilitating that right now. And what does that mean for the Muslim world? Alhamdulillah. We're going to talk about an app that Sam and brother Ebrahim have talked about on this podcast that didn't exist, but now it exists. It's an app that helps you, get on top of your WhatsApp with the benefit of AI, inshallah ta'ala. And if you're seeing this, that means we've already got in touch with the app and we've committed to a sponsorship deal with them. So we're getting paid for this, just so you know. And then finally, we will discuss, inshallah ta'ala, the US has published a proposal for something called Project Sunrise, which is a plan to basically revamp Gaza, the Gaza Strip. So we'll talk about that as well, inshallah ta'ala. So with that said, man, Sheikh Ibrahim, how are you?
Good, alhamdulillah.
How's things?
All well, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. Question, brothers. How important is it for a man to dress sharp, Like this is the kandura, the white thobe, it's the suit of the region, and then you're wearing a suit, Allah barik. Our panels always dress sharp, mashallah, Allah barik. What just before we begin, like, does it, growing up, when we're trying to make money, we're trying to earn, we always, like clothes and what you wear seems to be like a big part of the culture once you make it. Here, brothers don't necessarily wear designer, but we're always looking polished. So what do you guys think is the balance, and how important is looking good? And is Louis Vuitton, Gucci looking good, or does the thobe do it?
I mean, I'll give you three angles on it, not just one. One of the most important business books that was ever written, probably.
Let me guess.
Let
me guess.
Which one?
Magic of Thinking Big.
No.
Okay, sorry.
But that one is a good one.
Okay, sorry.
And in my opinion, it's not just about business books, it's just your overall well-being. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay, yes.
Because it was written over the span of 25 years, and he interviewed the top billionaires and people in the US. And he asked them, what is your secret, basically, about everything, and how to approach your time, your business, your life, this, that. And one of the most important things he focused on is the way that you appear and the way that you dress.
Really?
Yes. Because he actually mentions it. He's like, it's so important that you appear in a specific way because it's a reflection of you in front of whoever you're going to meet. Because in his outlook on things is that everything you do in life is sales. Everything. If you're meeting someone to marry, it's sales. You're selling yourself to her. You are, and she's going to accept you or not. If you're going to make a deal with someone in construction and real estate and this and that, it's buying and selling. So for him, it's like this is your first. Let's say it's your first reflection of your sale. It's how you appear. It's how you present yourself. It's how you basically the image that you want people to get a hold of you. And he says it's the first impression is the last impression. So that's his opinion, and that's something that most of the people that he interviewed agreed upon. Second thing I would say is that, in my opinion, because I worked with a lot of customers and clients that ultra high net worth, especially in the construction field, because you have to build for a lot of these people, and they are always a lot more impressed, and they take you a lot more seriously when you appear in a specific way. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be like super, like just proper polish. It doesn't have to be brand names. It could just be proper color. You can notice the difference when they sit with you and when they sit with someone, because if you can't take care of yourself appearance wise, imagine everything else in your life, your house, your kids, your overall hygiene, or your overall the way that you manage things in your life. So I don't know, this is from my own experience, and I gave you also like what Napoleon Hill said about it, and everyone that he interviewed agreed upon.
Interesting.
Yeah, quickly, Sheikh. So basically, it's not only clothes, like Brother Mohamed mentioned, it's your hygiene and everything as well. Because I used to lead a lot of younger guys, younger agents in the office, right? So there's a brother, he's a 19-year-old, freshly came out of Bangladesh. So subhanAllah, he used to, there's certain things like hygienic issues he had. And sometimes as leaders, as big brothers, we cannot
sweat.
Yeah, he used to sweat.
Yeah.
We cannot shy away from it, right?
Or food.
Yes. So I brought him to the office. I said, brother, look, there's few things we need to take care of immediately. And I'm saying this as an older brother, because other guys will just complain and not work with you and backbite. I'm telling you, as your older brother and as your leader, right? You need to shave off all your pubic hair. You cannot have them on, right? And then you need to put on deodorant. And then you need to, after you take shower, because some people have smell, like issues with your, like smell coming from their toes and whatnot. Sometimes it's genetic. You cannot do anything about it. So you have to, before you put on your socks, hair dry between your toes. You have to get very graphic and detailed, 100%. And it's our job as big brothers to 100%. Do it. So anytime we see issues, someone says, like, yeah, whatever, I'm not going to do that. No. And subhanAllah, now he's one of the most polished, dressed, the nicest smelling, and a few other suggestions I gave. I'm not going to mention it on the camera. After that, he was very good, well groomed. So groomed is the word I was looking for. It's not only the dress, it's how well groomed you are as a man. It's very important.
Interesting. What is that timepiece?
It's a Rolex.
It's a Rolex, mashallah.
I like how you said it.
So go on, what's the thinking behind that?
Look, personally, I believe first impressions last. I don't really care much for public opinion, but to feel good myself, I like a good timepiece on. I'm not a fan of digital watches. As you know, I wouldn't repeat what I said to a friend in your presence. But I believe a good automatic, a good timepiece is a statement for yourself.
It's a man's statement jewelry.
Yes.
Yeah.
But do you think it helps you? That is in Allah Barik, you've had a 9-figure exit, $100 million plus, Allah Barik, right? People say that, and I actually was going to get a Rolex for this reason, so that when you wear,
I'd like to see you on Rolex.
Say that again?
I'd like to see you on Rolex, man.
Yeah. Actually, the Rolex I was supposed to buy, Abbas has it.
Oh, mashallah.
It's just, it's a long story. but anyway, I was going to buy it because I noticed that if I saw someone with a Rolex, I would take them seriously. So I was like, oh, okay. But like, do you need that? Because you're Allah Barik, you're a big boss now.
Astaghfirullah.
$8 billion in deals in real estate, mashallah, So,
look, there's always someone ahead of you, regardless of where you're from. And I don't necessarily dress to impress. It's just you feel good.
Yeah.
I made a comment to a friend the other day. I left the barber shop. And I was quite disheveled before that. And I said, I feel like $1 million.
Yes.
And it's so simple things for yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it.
If you, someone said, I remember it was an interesting quote. It's like, if you want to be worth $1 million, you got to dress like $1 million. Like you have to really.
But that doesn't mean designer.
No, it doesn't. Actually, there is a very, very, very interesting clip on YouTube from Steve Harvey. Because Steve Harvey, he's always very well dressed. Very, very well dressed. Yeah. And he says, this is how easy it is to dress well. A man, all he needs is 4 suits, 5 shirts, 4, I think 5 or 5, whatever it is. And he mentioned that you can make 75 or something along those lines.
Variations,
75
yeah.
variations just from those.
White,
By mixing
blue,
and
gray.
matching the jacket with the pant, with the shirt, and the clip is there. And someone on social media took it and applied it. He's like, yeah, you could actually have 75 or something along those lines, variants. And those suits could cost you, what, $200, $300? You don't have to. Like, that's the thing. And even if you notice all the really ultra wealthy people, or someone that I find very elegant, like Iman Ghazi, he never has brands. It's always plain colors.
Okay, inside our network, there's only one brother that wears designer clothes. And he mentions it's like an itch he has to scratch.
Yeah.
It's just his personal, I guess, guilty pleasure. Brother Jamal.
Yeah.
It's the only guy you'll see him with like a Burberry shirt or something. Otherwise, it just doesn't. It's just not there.
Yes, our warfare is business,
Yeah.
right, Sheikh? And this is part of your armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're wearing. It's simple as that. This is
Beautiful.
our warfare. It's business.
I'll just comment on two things for me personally, because sometimes I look back at my videos, and I notice, man, I never used to comb my beard. And it used to look so, and I'm horrified at how, like, I just became so rough, man. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just that when you're sometimes I look like a homeless guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? As in, just comb the beard, bro. It's just such a simple thing. So I feel like our brothers sometimes, they do neglect, man. They do neglect.
There'll be a good child mind by discussion, Sheikh. The whole discussion on men's grooming.
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody needs to do it.
Oh yeah, the brother Sam is absolutely right, because it's so, like, there's so many details to it,
details.
and it starts from
People
a
don't
very
know.
young age. Like even with my son Adam, I teach him like things that he, because you have to nurture it from a very young age. Like, be mindful. No, don't go inside the elevator before someone comes out. Don't dress this color doesn't match with this color. From a very young age. So by the time he's 10, 15, 20, he's good to go. It's programmed.
No, you're
already
right.
in his mind.
This stuff needs to be discussed. Okay, listen. I'm not a person that brings you investment opportunities very often, and if I do, I can guarantee you and promise you one thing. It's been looked over and scrutinized at least 3 times over. So there is a brother called Sam Amin. You might have seen him on my podcast, and he, Alam Barik, is helping Muslims become rich through real estate. Now, this is not for people that are trying to go from 0 to 1. We're talking about guys that have savings, people that have at least $100,000 liquid capital ready to be deployed. He has an opportunity for you. It's a project right here in Dubai, 100% riba free, inshallah, 50% returns within 2 years. And there are only a very few bit of allocations left. The land has been purchased, the architectural work has already been done, and very soon they're going to be selling off-plan, inshallah ta'ala. And once the off-plan sales start, the door closes. Just so you know how much of a golden opportunity this is, you are currently able to get in at the land where it's 1,000 dirham per square foot, inshallah ta'ala. They're going to be selling this at 1,700 plus dirham per square foot. Do you understand how big that margin is with Allah's permission, is tawfiq? This type of opportunity, it's not just rare, it may never even ever come round again at this stage. So it would be not smart to miss this opportunity, especially when it's halal. There's no riba involved, inshallah ta'ala. So this is genuinely and truly the final call. And once the door closes, please don't message me and I'm talking to those that actually know me personally, sending me messages on WhatsApp saying, please get me in. Once it's done, it's done. So again, if you have $100,000 minimum liquid cash ready to deploy within the next 30 days, only in that situation should you apply at the link below, and you can speak to one of Sam's team members directly on the phone, do all the due diligence, ask all the questions, they'll put you in touch with his investors, inshallah ta'ala, from the past. You can see it's all legit, and then hopefully you can do the deal. With that said, may Allah bless you. Apply at the link below. Barakallah feek, man. All right, type. So look, before we go into our stories, as our tradition, we start off with a reminder, right? Something that is religiously connected to the lives of our audience, and we're talking about the entrepreneurs, the investors, and so on and so forth. So, I came across a hadith. Well, as in, I remembered a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ 2 days ago, and I was trying to reflect on solving some problems inside the company. Right.
On what, sorry?
I was trying to reflect on solving some problems inside of our business. So, business is just solving problem after problem, right? You solve one problem, another one comes, you solve another problem, another one comes. That's literally it, right? So, it got to a point where I was getting a little bit overwhelmed with like trying to identify what is the problem to solve. So I went and bought this notebook recently. Can't really journal. I can't do that. And I feel like writing your thoughts is very important. But like having at night, let me write my thoughts, answer these questions. Some people can do it. I don't have the discipline for it. But having a notebook to just brainstorm, I can do that all day, every day. I realize that about myself. So I got this, and now I just start my day by asking myself, what's the biggest problem? And I just write my thoughts. I just debate with myself. I just try to kind of go deep in that regard. And I was on a journey, and I actually realized, subhanAllah, that my bottleneck wasn't even something that was tangible. It was actually a spiritual one. It was me forgetting to make a particular dua. It was forgetting to make a particular dua.
That is so specific. How did you reach that conclusion?
I looked at all the problems that I had, and I was like, wait, there's one hadith the Prophet taught us to make a dua that literally solves all of this. And this dua, I really want, anyone should make this dua. But this is the dua that solves bottlenecks. There is not a bottleneck that will be left in your life as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, as a father, as anything other than that, if you make this dua. And I actually want you guys, because look, I'm not a scholar, right? So I'm not trying to, I'm trying to reflect and ponder and apply this to our lives. But you tell me if it's missing something out. Because the more I just deeped it, I was like, this is mind-blowing. So the Prophet ﷺ taught us to seek refuge from 8 things, right? 8 things. So I'm going to go through quickly, then we'll just break it down specifically. So the first thing, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-hazan.
Yes.
Allah, I seek refuge with you from sadness with regards to that which is in the past, and anxiety with regards to that in the future. So when it comes to bottlenecks, sometimes your bottleneck is psychological. It's not physical. It's not in the real world. It's just a psychological bottleneck.
Yes.
You're just sad over what's happened, so you keep thinking about it, or you're worried and stressed about what's going to happen in the future. So you become immobile and you don't actually focus on the present. The second one is, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-hazan wal-'ajzi wal-kasal.
Yes.
I seek refuge with you, Allah, from inability and laziness. These two are connected to actions. These two are connected to performance. Either you don't have the ability to do something, or you have the ability,
but you're lazy.
You just don't go and do it. Right? You get distracted, you procrastinate, or whatever have you. The next one is wal-bukhli wal-juban. Stinginess and cowardice. These are moral and character bottlenecks. Sometimes you just don't solve certain problems because you're scared. You just don't have the bravery to take risks. You don't have the bravery to make certain decisions. Even like, for example, when it comes to firing someone in your team, you're scared to hurt their feelings or what people are going to say about me. You don't take risks in your marketing because you're scared, right? Well, bukhl, stinginess. You don't put money back into your team. You don't invest in your company. You don't give charity that then is going to put barakah back inside your business, right? وَضَلَعِ الدَّيْنِ وَغَلَبَةِ الرِّجَالِ. The last two are external bottlenecks, right? External and societal bottlenecks, which is the debt, being weighted down by debt and being overcome by men. And what's interesting here, when the Prophet explained ضَلَعِ الدَّيْنِ, ضَلَع, it means something crooked. You know, in the hadith, المرأة خلقت من الضلع, وكما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the woman is created from the crooked rib.
Yeah.
Right? So debt makes you crooked, in the sense where it's like a man can't walk forward when he's got debt. He can't think straight. He's not responding to people's messages. He's, praying in a different masjid. He's avoiding phone calls. Like, it's interesting, when I was going through the explanation of this, you know what the scholars would say? The scholars said this. They said a person who's got debt, أذهب من عقله شيئا لا تعود إليه. When a man's in debt, a part of his intellect, his common sense, will leave him, that will not come back until the debt is paid. Like, as in, you consistently are deficient in your, like, debt takes your focus away. And debt could be payroll, debt could be investors, debt could be vendors. Like, debt is not just I borrowed money. No, I've got payments I need to make. Do you know what I'm saying?
Commitments.
Yeah. And then the last one is وَغَلَبَةِ الرِّجَالِ, the overcoming of men. As in, men overpowering me oppressively. And this could be either stealing something from you, putting a travel ban on you, for example. Like, all sorts of things, right? And even, for example, because it's about oppression. For me, I understand as even employees, bro, or team members that are not doing their job. Like, it's because of a man I'm being oppressed now. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I looked at this, what do you guys think firstly, before I go any deeper? Is there anything lacking here?
Oh, lacking?
this is it. This is
Extremely comprehensive.
comprehensive list. Everything would fall under one of the 8 categories.
One of the 8 categories, right?
I mean, us men are pretty simple creatures. It's just down to this. We don't really have that many emotions to deal with.
No, but it's literally, bro, lies when I did this. The fear of what's happened already. Sadness
and anxiety.
Anxiety in the future. Inability to do something. So if that's the case, get training. You
Skills,
learn. Get skills, right?
Competence.
Laziness.
Put yourself out there,
stinginess. And, it's a very deep hadith. It's connected to so much more than business and investment. In fact, that wasn't even the purpose of it.
Yes.
But just applying it to that, I was like, wow.
It's universal, basically.
It's universal.
Yes.
It's universal. So I just wanted to put that out there, and hopefully the audience, inshallah, memorizes this. Allahumma inni a'udhu bik. And also, what's interesting? I'll leave it on this before we go to our first point. The way the Prophet started the hadith, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika. Isti'adha. So there's different types of dua, right? There's istighatha, which is like, I'm begging, Ya Allah, please give this to me, Allah. I need this, Ya Allah, right? This isti'adha. Isti'ana is asking for help. Isti'adha, which is a'udhu, it means, it's like when a child seeks refuge in his mum.
Take it away
for protection.
Yeah.
Ya Allah, protect me from this thing. Ya Allah, protect me from sadness. That's the feeling that you've got to have with me. Allah, protect me from that. Protect me from men overcoming me, Ya Allah. Protect me from sadness. And you got to feel it. It can't just be on the lips. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min hammi wal hazan. No. These are cripplers. These things cripple you, man. They cripple you. They break you down. So imagine, bro, before you start taking the means to do your financial planning and get out of debt and,
Yeah, debt is so, overpowering. I remember, like, literally the moment or the day I got out of debt.
Yeah.
I felt like I got one of those limitless pills. Like, literally I could function like I got Neuralink or something. I could think. Seriously, it felt like that. Like, so liberating. Like, I could think now. Oh, wow, I could breathe. I could walk. The debt, may Allah protect us all from debts. SubhanAllah, Sheikh. It really, it basically breaks down your ability to think.
Yeah, 100%.
It blocks you. Because it's that one thing that that will completely give you anxiety, that will block you from making a sound decision. Because in my opinion, a person reaches the ultimate wisdom when he has a clear mind.
100%.
Creativity only comes from a clear mind. So that means you can only innovate and advance and develop if you have a clear mind. That mind will never be clear if you're burdened by debt. And 100%. This is from also, like Brother Sam said, from my own personal experience, especially when we had like big payrolls and stuff and paying suppliers. It was the most horrible feeling in the world.
I guess a subtle maybe even hint maybe in that is the importance of cash, man. Just having cash flow and having cash.
Yeah. Yes.
Having it present.
1000%.
Sorry, Sheikh.
Please, go on, Sheikh. You wanted to make something? Yeah. Please.
So one of my primary motivators for exiting, debt comes in various shapes and forms.
Yes.
As Sam put it nicely, it's a lot of commitments. So I had a lot of obligations to private debt. It was manageable, well within the business. But it was still that pressure.
Yep, of course.
And then it was the obligation or the commitment to settle the family and, things like that. And I think a primary reason for my exit was so that I could have sufficient cash to just settle everyone and be free.
Yes.
But
brother, I have a question for you. My apologies.
No, go ahead, bro.
I will have a question. Because your business is a very cash-based business, right?
Correct.
For example, where I was in construction, it's very horrible. It's like a very big risk that you might not get paid. But in your case, why did it worry you if you knew that the money was coming? That's what I'm trying to understand.
So as you scale, ratio-wise, a financial institute will tell you're very comfortable. But psychologically, those numbers become very big. But so you said, if I have to stop working tomorrow, this is the number that's owed. It's a daily pressure.
Was there a big risk of you not getting it?
It's not about the risk. It's just about
it's just mental
pressure.
The mental pressure
Okay.
that you have to perform. Otherwise, the whole thing comes crashing down.
It's like 10% of 100 dirham is 10 dirham, but 10% of 1 billion dirham is 100 million dirham.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I guess when you scale,
Yes, and I think this is very profound. Sometimes it's okay to take a step back and just say, khalas.
Correct.
You know, sometimes you don't have to, because I think the ideology right now is like hustle, $1 billion, $1 trillion. Like, you know, we attach to the numbers. It's not to the numbers. It should be to the mission, your sanity, and where you actually want to go. And sometimes you're just building. Remember, we had a discussion with our escrow company in the US. It's just a company. It has nothing to do with any sort of missions, right? So to what extent do you burn the candle for that? To what extent, right? There has to be a point. You're like, okay, khalas, you know, this is a good. Take the exit, take the cash, so you're done with it. I think this is good.
I'm just trying to be go ahead.
Sorry, from the deen as well. You know, say, what's a wealthy man? Or I think it's more, who is the most...
Al-ghina, you mean contentment?
Yeah, correct.
إنما الغنى غنى النفس.
Correct. So, you know, there's someone that, I think it was a companion Umar or someone else who says that.
Right.
If you wake up in the morning, you have a roof over your head, you have sufficient meals for the day. You know, you are...
It's the messenger's hadith. Yeah.
Okay. You can take us through the hadith. I think that's very apt. Today, we have this number to what you were saying that we're chasing and that gives you that anxiety and that worry. But contentment is lacking because, hey, you honestly are more blessed than majority of the population. 100%. Just be content and happy.
100%. Mohamed disagrees.
No, it's he heard my sigh. This guy reads me very well. He heard me breathe. No, it's because for me, I always like to challenge myself and of course challenge each other because I'm thinking to myself and I'm like trying to be the devil's advocate. I'm like, yeah, but what kind of business doesn't have some sort of debt? Like Brother Ebrahim said, it comes in various shapes or form. And then also, isn't this part of our DNA as business people to also be under somewhat some kind of pressure? Because if you're also too comfortable, if you're too happy. So what I'm trying to say is like, where do you draw the line? Business has to have some sort of debt because it's always credit and buying and selling. And there should be like, I don't know. This. I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe I don't even have the answer.
I think it's personal.
Yeah,
I think it's personal.
For me, Sheikh, now what has become is basically if it is you're 100% sure that this is akhirah centric. Like what I'm trying to do with this company is completely akhirah centric, and there is no line. Like we keep going, and if nothing happens, I was reading somebody was saying it. Alex Hormozy was quoting Jocko Willink as saying that all defeats are psychological except for death. And I was like, our Prophet ﷺ, how beautiful the hadith is. Even for us, death is not defeat. So look at for the Muslim paradigm. Jocko Willink's quote is great. Like all defeats in life are psychological. You actually have not been defeated. It's only in your head you have been defeated, except for death. Oh, wow. For us, even death is a victory, man. If your life was akhirah centric and you did everything for that mission, for that purpose, even death is victory. So what is there to stop you?
Literally, that's a good angle.
Yeah, so that's why we have to be like company what we're doing, and it's nothing wrong to do it for profit as long as it's halal and everything is there. Just do it.
You mean that? No, there's nothing wrong in having some controlled amount of it as long as it's akhirah centric.
No, I'm saying as long the business, like your business goals having numbers attached to it, and it's nothing to do with your akhirah. It's just business. As long as it's not destroying your akhirah, like it's not haram and all that, it's okay. But then you have to like ask yourself the question, up until what point, right? But if your business is totally tied to akhirah, like me doing this business actually serves my akhirah and serves 100,000 other people's akhirah, then there's no line, man. You're the leader. You have to go through the pressure and you have to crush the wall and you just have to reach the destination. Even if you don't, death is victory.
To answer your question more specifically, I think there's responsible debt and irresponsible debt.
Yes.
You'd always have suppliers or creditors who you'd buy on terms from. You'd always have customers that you're carrying. Now, managed debt and responsible is good leverage. But again, to what point? At a certain point, you say, okay, you know what? I can actually live without that. And even if it means taking a step back, I'm fine with that. But that comes to Sheikh's point. It's a very personal decision and there's no right or wrong answer. Each individual will have a different
The reason I asked this question is because coming from both of you brothers, you had a lot of experience with this on a large scale, but even more so on this much smaller scale, you have no idea how many brothers and sisters that I speak to that are just afraid of basically doing business because they're like, no, I don't want to work with the banks. I don't want to do this. They don't want to take risks because, it's haram, it's this and that. I'm like you said, there are some things that are responsible and irresponsible, just the same way there are things that are halal, that are Sharia compliant, and that are not Sharia compliant. You have to accept, you can't live, like Brother Sam said when we were talking on the phone the other day, you can't be in a cave and just imagine that, you want things your way. You have to also integrate with how the world works. Okay, you want to do business, you have to take some risk. You have to maybe take a responsible loan or some credit from maybe a Sharia compliant bank or something like that. You can't just be sitting in a cave and expect that, no, I don't want to do this. I just want to work on cash basis, because sometimes it just cannot be done depending on your field, the field you're in.
No, the limit, sorry, Sheikh, the limit is, and where most people get it wrong then, is greed. So to start up and to get, yes, you got to 100% if you're starting with zero capital or minimal capital, certainly you've got to leverage yourself.
Yes.
And that's the most prudent thing to do. But then at some point, it's the relentless chase to just become bigger and better.
Just
and
for the heck
ego
of it.
or
Just
the
for
greed.
the heck of
and
it.
then when you're using debt at that stage and markets turn, you can really get wiped out because...
And that's actually what happened in 1929, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got the book.
I started it. He told
They
me
were
about
selling stocks with loans.
Yes. A recent incident happened. I don't know if you guys saw the news. I forgot the gentleman's name. He was the richest man in LA, like non-Hollywood guy. I think he was Hollywood guy. I'm not sure. $6.2 billion worth. Okay. He passed away. Everybody thought like $6.2 billion worth, like mega rich, like $6.2 billion, like with a B. After he passed away, the wife had to sell everything to pay off debts to the point now she's homeless. To the point she's homeless because he was cash rich. Because his money was tied to stock valuations.
He wasn't cash rich, you mean?
I mean, he was paper rich. He was not cash rich.
Yeah,
Yes, he was paper rich. So his net worth was tied to stock valuation.
Wow.
You cannot use stock valuation to go and purchase cars and Bugattis and whatnot. So what do? You take loans. Remember we talked about buy, borrow, die.
Yeah.
So men bought companies
That's
and borrowed.
That's Elon Musk's money.
Yes, that borrowed against it, then died. Now the wife is homeless.
Buy, borrow, die.
Yes, absolutely. That's the formula in play.
Okay, barakallah feek, guys. Let's pivot, inshallah, to our topics. I think that was a nice, fruitful discussion.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And mashallah, barakallah feek for sharing that, man. It gives some perspective to people. This is a dose of what you get inside the cave, guys. Anyways, look. First question, man. We're coming into 2026, and I feel like a lot of our viewers, they look at this podcast as an anchor, right? To gain guidance, to gain insights, to hear different ideas. With Allah's permission is tawfiq. So I think they're very eager to hear. What are your thoughts about 2026? So a lot of the times people talk about opportunities, right? You hear all these videos come out, 2026, this is how the next investment opportunity, this is how you make money, do this. What are your concerns? Let's start with paranoia. Like what are you stressed about? What are you worried about from an economic, financial, maybe even geopolitical perspective, because it has implications? Let's start with you, bro.
So, look, I am honestly very nervous about the current global situation. I see key risks that are being ignored, and everyone's very comfortable with the way the current global system is working, and they're ignoring these glaring fundamentals out there.
For example?
Stock markets are at an all-time high. There's no way those companies are valued at that level. A lot of ummah funds or personal funds are tied up in that. And any breeze or slight cold, there's going to be wipeouts. People are going to lose generational money in the stock market. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. You're seeing inflation eating away at purchasing power, and people relying on non-hard assets are very exposed to that the sector. If, as an example, if we looked at our grandparents or our forefathers, let's not go too far back, just our parents and grandparents. One man in the household could provide a home, he could provide a a mode of transport. He could provide meals for the family.
Even send money back home.
Send money back home. And people were comfortable, content, and they lived off one man's sweat.
Yeah.
Today, the father's working, the wife's working, the children are now supporting that household, and it's still not enough.
Yes.
And this is a direct outcome of an inflation designed economy.
You know, there's actually a hadith the Prophet ﷺ mentioned one of the signs of the hour is that the woman is going to go out and work. A man will not be able to provide. Yeah, wallahi, I found it the other day. Authentic hadith.
I've never heard it.
A man will not be able to provide. We'll add it in. Abu Bakr, add it in here. A man will not be able to provide in the house.
We were just having this discussion last week.
Yeah, the woman will have to.
That how a lot of women feel very out of their feminine because they have to work, because the man is just not, like Brother Ebrahim said, is not able to provide by himself.
But Ibrahim, I want to hear the remaining list, but I just want to explore a couple of things here, right? Because I think there might be mutual sentiments. So a question I have for you, Sam. I think Warren Buffett, the majority of his wealth is in the stock market, is it not?
It's in companies, so that's the difference.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In forms of stocks, but you putting money in 250 stocks through your Halal ETF or S&P 500 to 500 stocks. That's stock. That's what Brother Ibrahim is talking about.
That's financial suicide.
Yes. Not Warren Buffett owns companies.
Apple.
Yes. Bank of America, Boeing. So he owns large stakes in companies
that he believes are going to be able to weather the storm.
Yes, he invests for decades, right? That's how he invests in.
Okay.
And also to add to Brother Ibrahim, the exact sentiment is basically on paper, you might see GDPs are doing better. All companies, all economies are growing. Stock market is doing great, phenomenal, breaking records month after month. But when you are on the ground, the on-ground reality is completely different. The middle class is not disappearing. It has pretty much disappeared. Literally, people cannot afford anything. People cannot afford anything. People are losing jobs, like mass layoffs. I'm talking about in America. On-ground reality, in Michigan, in other states, people are losing jobs. People cannot afford their baby formulas, their diapers. Everything is super expensive. So the middle class is disappearing. So the 60% of consumer spending that's happening in America, 60% of the total consumer spending is coming from the top 10%. And those top 10% are just sitting on the stock money that has like quadrupled over the last 4 or 5 years, right? Now, as Brother Ibrahim mentioned, it's not about if, it's about when. When that pops, like these guys are going to pull out. Everything's going to crash on top of everyone's head, subhanAllah.
But you know when people say, look, when there's panic in the market, don't sell, right? Hold on to your stocks. It's the people that are foolish that when there's panic, they sell. When there's optimism, they buy, right?
Yeah.
So is it really that dangerous? Should we, or should the advice not just be hold on to your stocks, just don't pull out when it drops because it will eventually pick back up?
I can answer that. So currently people are buying at 100 times company earnings. So they're buying wrong. They're not buying on fundamentals. They're buying on hype. And your entry is wrong.
Yep.
You're never going to honestly get any dividend or realize that paper.
The price earning ratio doesn't make sense.
It's never going to happen.
Yep. Because
the
stock
difference
is
with the Buffetts are that
overinflated.
they generally value investors. They're buying in blue chip companies that are actually producing profits.
What does blue chip mean?
Good, solid, great companies that are built to survive economic downturns. You know, they're in technology companies, they are in food companies, they legitimate companies that have been around for decades and would be around for decades. And they're living off those, or they're getting decent dividends. Now, someone coming in and says, okay, I cashed out on crypto, I need to diversify my portfolio. Okay, stock market's a great place, everyone told me so. So, you know, Apple's the flavor of the day. But today, getting into Apple, you're very unlikely, unless you're looking at a very long-term horizon, in the short to medium term, you're not going to make money.
Yeah, Apple's not even looking very promising right now. Apple's
even to medium term. It's not the short term. Even to medium term, it's like very overvalued right now.
Is the price index, Brother Ibrahim, would you consider it now to be at the highest it's been in the last 10 years?
Yeah, I think stock markets are...
Because I'm not into stocks.
No,
so
stock markets are definitely at an all-time high. They fictitiously valued or overvalued.
Okay.
And a correction's due. The chickens are coming home to roost soon. And especially with what's coming geopolitically, etc. But
so when the market drops, which is inevitable, like you said.
When the market drops, you can buy, yes. But right now, don't enter.
So what's interesting is you recommended this book 1929 by Ross something.
Yes.
Yeah. And basically it goes through what really happened in 1929 when they had the Great Depression.
What caused it?
It's kind of what you're saying to me right now, because I'll be honest, I'm also not up to date with the stock market, as in that's not something I don't believe there's Sharia compliant options here, personally, me.
we're the bricks and mortar people here, so
but mashallah, what you're describing literally is what I'm reading in that book. That's exactly what happened.
No, it's not me. Any person that believes on fundamental investing would come to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not about Sam or me or you reading the book.
No, I'm just looking at the parallels.
Yes.
Okay.
Howard Marks, one of the investors, said, this is where people lose patience. Keyword where what Brother Ebrahim said, it's not about if, it's about when. Then there will be people, that when could be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Do you understand, Chef? Nobody can time that. When is that when? Then people will be like, oh, you've been saying that, but, it's not happening. Then that means it's good. Just because somebody gets the when wrong does not mean their underlying principle is wrong. So that's why you have to be patient enough to write out the when. Because nobody knows if it's going to drop in 2026, 2027, 2028. They can print more money. They can come up with this. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But the fundamentals are fundamentals. It's overvalued. Nothing can change that either. So that's, I think, also a technical thing, because a lot of Gen Zs will say that, you guys have been saying that for a long time.
Maybe let's go into the...
I've been hearing this since 2015. We're going to have the dollar's going to collapse. It's going to be gone.
Okay, but let's go into the fundamentals and then maybe the audience and we can understand. And you can talk about it as well. But
yes,
you mentioned job layoffs.
Yes.
So unemployment is at an all-time high across geographies, across continents, across industries, across countries.
It's taking more of people's money, Brother Ebrahim, on that to afford housing.
Yes.
Across, again, geographies, countries, everywhere.
So inflation is eating into purchasing power, right? So that's the second problem.
Yep.
You're looking at what else could we say fundamentally is wrong with the world economy at the moment?
And
debt is at an all-time high.
Yes, debt is an all-time high. Personal
and can
debts.
never be repaid.
Exactly. Personal debts, like personal debts, credit card debts.
Be repaid? What do you mean? Is that a fact?
Yeah.
It's reached a number that cannot ever be repaid?
Most countries, I think, cannot. I mean, especially the US. I don't see...
I don't know even if they plan to repay.
I don't know this debt. By the way, there was a video that was circulating in our group that this debt is never meant to be repaid in the first place. It's just
growing.
It just keeps growing. Yeah, it's just going.
Everybody
around.
owes to each other,
But that's literally the definition of a bubble, man. Like,
yes.
That's a definition of usury. That's
correct.
That's why it's haram.
That's it. That's the definition of usury, because you're putting a big segment of society in poverty out of something that doesn't even exist. So basically, you're using paper money or money that you just print on a screen against them, because that's how they find themselves in the first place.
So what's another principle?
You can add on to what other fundamentals are wrong with the global economy.
And fundamentals, when we touch on AI, we can go more in details. But basically, it's you are not going to be rewarded for work. You've been trained to work, but you're going into a system where you're not going to be rewarded for work anymore. You're going to be rewarded for what you actually own in terms of companies and things like that. Because AI, it's not, people sometimes say, in the manufacturing days, in the industrial days, when the automation came, it's not that there was a mass layoff. Well, at that time, the automation was done to manual labor, manual repetitive labor. That's where automation came in. But AI is not bringing automation to manual repetitive labor. It's bringing elimination to white collar jobs, literally.
Okay.
Right? So it's going to be a lot of changes. A lot of changes.
So I think just to contextualize that, we're moving faster into a production or producer-based economy.
Exactly.
And asset-owned economies.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, asset-owned economies.
Compared to a labor-based economy.
Correct.
And
You don't have the
that
leverage
shift,
of labor anymore. You know, like in economics, we read
that
leverage of
will
labor.
create a wipeout.
Just explain that, because you're using terms that even me is kind of going over my head. So, what's the practical implication of
This is very
an
interesting.
asset economy?
Okay, forget the asset economy, right? Let's just break it down to layman terms. Today, you own a house that you don't live in, that you could rent out, you could sell tomorrow tomorrow if you lose your job and you own 10 bars of gold or 5 bars of gold, you own a rental producing asset, you could live off the rent of that asset, you could cash up some of that gold and survive, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you own your only source of income, or you're just earning a salary, and that's your primary and your only source of survival, the day AI or the day there's a correction in the market and there's mass layoff in your industry and you lose your job, what do?
You got to have assets to fall back on.
You become a realtor that sells the house.
You know,
But that, it goes back to what we were discussing last time, is that now there's this push against this younger generation that, oh, you don't need to own anything. No, it's okay. You can rent your house. You can rent your car. You can rent this. So basically, it's just consumer based.
So you're saying there's an argument for owning your property then?
For owning anything.
So yeah, I'm saying owning assets. It doesn't have to be a property. It can be a business.
Yes.
So you can own your own business rather than working in a business. That would provide leverage. And coming to what you were saying, Sheikh, is about this consumer-based 100% is being pushed, and that's the narrative. Why? Because the ultimate plan is to, and you can delete it if you want, but I think I firmly believe this, that that they'll be certainly be pushed into a direction where, okay, guys, you work and your reward for that effort now doesn't necessarily have to be currency. Okay, so we'll provide the home that you live in. Okay, we'll give you transport to get to your job.
Housing, transportation. Food.
I told someone the other day, modern day slavery. It's
slavery.
It's slavery, but in a very polished, nice way. Oh, you're a bad boy? Okay. Our house we'll take it back.
Take
the car, we'll take it back. Go on the street now. So it's a very fear-based and a very submissive-based economy that you cannot even talk back or say anything. And that's so scary for the younger generation who truly believe, like Brother Ebrahim said, that they don't need to own anything.
I've heard this from a lot of people, right? That they were going to live in as in people that are not connected to each other. So interesting. Like, what's led you down this train of thought?
If you look at so I personally believe COVID was an experiment to test how far can society be pushed into obedience,
Submission,
or submission.
Yep.
I think that was just part one.
Yeah.
And a lot more is coming.
Can I tell you something? Right,
Scary.
This might be slightly going off topic, but on the point you're mentioning about AI and how these AI companies are extremely overvalued and this is a bubble and everything. I want to get you guys' take on this, right? I actually think the AI dream is a lie. I don't think it's gonna come out the way people think it's gonna come out. You know, like this dream of we're gonna have this world where there's gonna be robots and this massive technology. I actually don't think it's gonna come for a couple of reasons. I could be wrong. I do want to double check. This is just my sentiment. There's a lot of hadith, right, of the Prophet ﷺ that when talking about the end of times give you the kind of imagery that things have regressed.
Yep.
Right? You kind of, yeah? You understand?
You hit it 100%.
Okay. So yeah, there's this imagery that, it's like we're back, horseback, bows and arrows.
Archery, yeah.
Archery. You kind of get that, Dajjal is going to be on his donkey. Prophet ﷺ is, when he says he's going to be on a donkey, some people say, it means it's a plane.
No, it doesn't mean nothing.
It's on a donkey, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the Dajjal, who's basically, the greatest superpower against the Muslims at the time, is on a donkey, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, couple that with what we know today about how expensive it is to produce energy and how taxing it is to produce energy to be able to power the type of AI technology that you need that's going to have this AI world. The maths is not making sense to me. I'm not a mathematician, by the way, But just looking at what the experts are saying, it just like, for example, right now, OpenAI, they make about $13 billion in revenue annually, but they're trying to spend 1.3 trillion next year to produce energy to back their projects. They're trying to produce energy that's going to cost 10x what they're making, bro. You're going to bridge the gap in a year or 2 or 3 or 4. Bro, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen, bro. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, even from a country level, I think I was listening to Saudi's Ministry of Finance, the minister. He was saying just to meet the demand within Saudi, we need to invest 20 trillion into power by 2030. And we have only spent 1.7 trillion.
Look at that.
And it's only 4 years away.
30 trillion.
20 trillion by 2030 only, just to meet the demands within Saudi.
Yeah, this is going to be their bottleneck. And I believe AI is going to get better, inshallah. But it's going to get more optimal. We're going to be able to do more things with it. But I don't think we're going to get to that. You know that.
I think they're just trying to replace like these people on top of these companies. They just want to replace as much as possible human beings. But
that's the issue.
That's really what it is. Because if you hear Sam Altman's interview, it's really freaky and really creepy.
Which one? All of them are, to be honest.
He had one. I'll send it to you. But he was basically talking about how kind of he just wants to create his own human being eventually, right? Someone that is fully programmed and
I
just
hate the guy, man. I don't
he's
know.
an atheist, Jewish.
Yeah, he's creepy. He's the type of guy that you never want to have near your house. But anyway,
do you think he killed this guy?
The whistleblower that was at his company?
The one in New York, the guy was murdered.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
You see when Tucker Carlson asked him?
He was like that.
Yeah. Oh, the interview was, I think, with Tucker Carlson. Yes, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I think.
He's like, are you accusing me of murder?
Yeah. Yeah. His reaction.
So, Sheikh, I believe AI. I believe there's an AI wave at the moment. I believe it would progress. I certainly understand your take in the end times, and things would be very primitive. I strongly believe that, but I have a different take on why. So it's not, I don't see it because of energy and etc. I believe it because of my next list of concerns of 2026 is geopolitics. And I strongly.
So I wasn't. Barakallah for pointing out. I wasn't trying to say that is going to cause us to go back to primitive, that primitive stage, but that there's going to be a ceiling, and then there's going to be things that are going to knock us back. Cyber attacks, and this, that, and whatever have you.
So I think cyber warfare, physical war would come, and today we understand nuclear technology. I strongly believe someday, we may be exposed to that in our lifetime. If we look at what the elites are preparing, they're preparing for nuclear bunkers. They have. I mean, it's a genuine fact. Go and check it out yourself.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg has this huge bunker underground.
Doomsday bunkers for nuclear war. Or to survive.
It was a startup, you know. There was a business where they were getting people to you know how you sell off plan?
Yes.
They were selling off plan bunkers for the elites.
Wow.
That go like
miles
deep, but it looks super luxurious and stuff like that.
Correct. So if you understand,
you got to get to it. You got to get to it if the war kicks off.
Then you look at a lot of societies, a lot of individuals buying farmland. The biggest owner of farmland today in the US is Bill Gates.
Yep.
Yes, correct. Right. Why do you think that is?
So control over food source.
Food security is the number one.
Doomsday scenario, that's going to be the most valuable thing. You know, I'll tell you something interesting. Brother White, we know him, right? He actually, he said when he came back from America, just before the election, the summer before the election, because things were getting very intense, right? He was like, I'm starting to feel like there could be a worst case scenario. So he said he spoke with his wealth manager, very experienced guy. He said, if there's like a doomsday type of scenario, what's the one asset I should have? He said farmland.
Yeah. He
said farmland, because if things go left, you're going to be self-sufficient.
And a few guns. So if someone comes to your farmland, you know how to take care of them.
Again from the Hadith, Sheikh. Man would go to the mountains.
With his sheep.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Tend to his flock.
Yes.
You know, I think about the Hadith so often. And honestly, it's... I don't know, as every year goes by, I feel like that's becoming more of a reality for me. Sheikh. I'm actually looking at mountains. You know, in Ta'if right now? Ta'if?
Yeah, they're selling off plan, not off plan, like they're selling plots.
Yeah,
really?
You see how cheap it is?
Yes, very cheap.
It's
on the mountain itself?
750 riyal per square meter.
Yeah.
Wow.
How much?
per square meter.
No, how much the price per square?
750 riyal
Only 750 real.
per square meter.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and also there's 2 yambas from outside Medina, one by the sea, one in the mountains.
And for ownership.
Huh?
Foreign ownership.
Foreign ownership, Sheikh.
Wow.
MashaAllah.
So-
That's really interesting.
Yeah, so one of the brothers inside, see, this is where you get inside the cave, guys. One of the brothers actually is purchasing land there. Allah, he's going to build his own place.
Very wise move.
Very wise move.
Very,
Yep.
very wise move.
It checks off so many boxes.
So many. It's in the mountains, down from Mecca,
Yes.
you know. Have my sheep.
Coming to how far, you say you look at that hadith quite often.
Yeah.
Myself as well, I see this. Sheikh, the Prophet has left us, or Islam has left us with a lot of guidance. If you look, we know what's to come. And this was said to us 1400 years ago. Look at the minor signs of the day. They've all passed. There's nothing left to happen.
Basically.
We're now in the transition. We're just waiting for the big ones. And when the big ones come, they bang one
It's
after
going
the
to be
other.
domino. Yeah.
Mehdi's a minor sign, by the way. But, so yeah, there's...
We are the
We've gone
transition of...
I think most we've seen.
We've seen most. We
Yes.
between... We at the tail end of the minor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving into the...
100%.
Into the major. And... so guys, I think it's, as much as we talk about business, etc., we got to understand where we are, the timelines, the akhirah-centric model, yes. And Islam has also taught us that even if you hear the
Exactly. I was just gonna say
trumpet,
that. Yep,
plant
please.
the damn seed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't give up hope and go run away into the mountains today, but start planning for
Start
it.
planning 100%.
Yes.
Remind me to tell you something on this topic after that. Yeah?
After the podcast.
It's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
It's the kind of
Do we
stuff-
have to fly to an island or it's safe?
No, it's here. It's safe. But you know, some things are for the cave, some things for the cave members, and some
Yeah.
things are for the audience.
I want to just ask you, brothers, for another angle, because a lot of brothers listening to this might be like, okay, AI is taking all of our jobs, replacing. What do we do? I think we should give what do we do if somebody's listening to it, and if their job is potentially threatened with AI. I still remember, man, just before COVID, we had a very high-paid salaried person, elderly lady in the office. Her main job was just taking notes of meetings, literally. It's not too long ago, man. Because just before COVID, like Zoom and all these guys did not have your AI note-taking thing. Literally, they did not have that feature. Just like 5 years ago. So it was a job, because it's a 2 hours meeting. You cannot remember any of like what we were just discussing.
The app we're going to discuss, Memorae.
Of course.
It's putting Abdul Basid's job at risk. Don't worry, Abdul Basit. We're going to
No, that's where, okay, let's take that as a case study, right? So I think that's where, sorry, Sheikh, go ahead.
No, here you go.
That's where I think a job or a trait that, at least in the near future, cannot be replaced is anything relationship based, anything that requires relationship at its core.
100%.
So I got a different take on this.
Yep.
So yes, AI is a risk, but so was technology. So let's go back. Previously, to manufacture something, let's use my example in beverage. So someone came, they opened a tap, put some gas inside, and put some flavoring and shipped it off on the horse and cart. So technology improved that process. So you now had automated machinery where you blew a bottle, the next machine, it went onto a conveyor onto the filling line. The filling line, it got filled, capped,
Industrialization.
labeled.
Yep.
Industrialization, it got packed into a 6-pack or, on an outer pack. It got cartoned, it got palletized, all became automated. No human intervention. But human involvement was still there when the machine broke. So there were still human skills required, but in different functions. So very similarly, the horse and cart no longer exists. You now had a vehicle to ship it off.
Yes. Yeah.
Initially, you had to stock count in the warehouse. You now have warehouse management solutions that will tell you, hey, where this pallet is, what date it is. This one's getting old. Automated racking systems became an order of the day. So technology fast-tracked or enabled progress and automation. I see a very similar trend with AI, that if you look at it positively rather than negatively, I strongly believe we will have billion-dollar one-man companies because of AI.
Yep.
Right. AI has democratized information. So a kid, 15, 16-year-old kid sitting in the basement who's not playing games like the rest of people at his age, applying his mind to AI could produce something and
100%.
Build a business out of AI.
Yep.
And find solutions to the problems people see.
The key here, Brother Ebrahim, what you mentioned exactly, the kid that's not playing video games with his teenage friends, right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be $1 billion company. That means 1,000 others are eliminated.
Correct.
Right? So don't be part of that 1,000.
Yeah.
Be that guy who's not playing video games, who's actually thinking, who's actually doing things. And I think that's what we should focus on. Absolutely.
Potentially even, and I want to be very careful when I say this because maybe the school system will turn around and become advantageous, in the future. But currently as it stands today, also not just going to school. I think. Sorry, not playing video games. I think going to school is just as much of a waste of time.
As well as video games. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. That's why Brother Arman, inside of our network, literally dropped out of school, Allah barik, and became a millionaire.
I mean, I have
self-made millionaires,
and he used ChatGPT by the way to educate
school.
I have
most self-made millionaires.
I have two different takes on this: one that supports and one that goes against. I will actually double down on what Brother Sam said, and I will also agree with what Ebrahim said. But so it's a combination of two, in the sense that you have to, in my opinion, you have to go to school. You have to interact with people. You have to be out there in society because you need to learn how to deal when you're heartbroken, when you're trying to make friends and maybe you're not fitting in, when you play sports with your team and you lose, how do you bounce back? All these things you have to experience 100%. Them. This is what Brother Sam was saying. Personal relationship. You have to learn from a very young age how to deal with rejection, acceptance, this and that, because one of my favorite quotes in business is that people do business with people they like.
100%.
Plain and simple. That's it.
Very true.
If I like you, I'm going to buy from you, even if you're more expensive than the other guy. And that's the most important asset that you can have is how acceptable you are.
Yeah.
And what I love about our deen and Islam is that it's very timeless. So if you apply anything that is from our religion, at any point in time, it applies. Because, again, like Brother Sam said, it's on the self. It's how you are as a person and how you present yourself, because you always want to be thought as a leader. And if you start from a very young age, like 15, 16, not playing video games, like you guys said, there's actually a perfect example of someone that documented the whole journey, the whole process from 15 years old. Imam Ghazi, he documented his journey from 15 years old on YouTube, all of it.
Stephen Bartlett did the same thing.
Every single day, or I don't know, every single week, whatever it is. So it's amazing to see that if you put in the time and the effort from a young age, you can reach independence and liberation later on, and then you have the capacity to do whatever you want. And going back to what Brother Ebrahim said is that, yes, technology is always going to be there. It's always going to be there now, in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years. It's how you deal with it. So basically, yourself as a person, what are your morals? What are your capacities to be a good people's person, someone that they like, but using these technologies and these tools in your advantage?
No, 100%. I think I've been thinking about this a lot myself, because I'm not a tech savvy person at all, but I straight away saw that, AI is something I need to adopt ASAP. But it's just been so hard for me because I'm not great with these technologies.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've even boiled it down to is just got to be on top of your AI, on top of your relationships, on top of your AI, and on top of your relationships.
I agree. I second that.
So it's a combination of both.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on, inshallah. So this is what you're paranoid about. Is there anything that we haven't mentioned that you feel paranoid about that you want to just mention briefly, inshallah, before we go into opportunities?
Yes, very quickly. I think a lot more Muslim capital, I fear, will go into, quote unquote, their ecosystem, even going into 2026 and beyond.
Why is that bad? Because the Prophet would do business with non-Muslims.
There's nothing bad in doing it, but the key word here is ecosystem. We have to be the one having the rule-making power.
Okay.
And in order to have the rule-making power, we need to have our own institutions with our own governance and with our own control. I think we have played enough of the game of halalifying this, halalifying that, instead of halalifying
it as halal as possible.
Yeah, or making it as halal as possible.
Borderline halal.
Borderline halal.
Yeah.
But I think we're doing this, unfortunately, because it's not our rules. We're not playing in our battlefield. We're not playing in our playing field. It's not our rules. So we're trying to play their game, but we're trying to make it halalify the game, right? We have to create our own game.
Just to give people an example of how that hadith, that dua I mentioned at the beginning comes.
Yes.
It requires bravery to say, you know what, I'm going to build my own ecosystem for the Muslims.
Yes.
And it also requires ability.
Yep.
Both things, the opposite of which is inability, and fear, which you're seeking refuge with Allah from. So imagine you're trying to solve these problems whilst making that dua and relying upon Allah in that regard. So I just wanted to just show the application.
So this is it, Sheikh, and Brother Ebrahim slightly mentioned it. Then we went into other topics. Is basically our money is just going into, like when he talked about the stock market. I think it will just more and more happens, and we won't have power that way.
So from an economic perspective, is the inflation of the stock market the biggest concern?
I would say geopolitical risks I would rank higher.
Yeah.
And then I would say economic risk. And in terms of business, even I break it down, I don't know if you would agree with this, but I see sanctions and supply chains movements.
Yeah.
All right. So business, if it would stop, you need to de-risk your income sources or your routes to market.
I forgot the exact number, Sheikh. China had, since Trump announced the Liberation Day tariffs in April, China had its best trading surplus ever.
Since when, sorry?
Since April of this year, when Trump announced the tariffs of Chinese goods going into America.
Yeah.
Since he announced that, till now, China had its best 6 month or 8 month, whatever that.
How does that even make sense?
Because you're supply chain, new routes are being created.
Even money supply.
Yeah.
Even money routes, right? So the yen can now be traded against certain currencies.
Yes. Is it true that Warren
without the SWIFT ecosystem and without being converted into dollars?
Is it true Warren Buffett's buying yen right now? Is that true? I saw a video, but it seemed like
in May, I believe he did make a statement. What you're talking about, I've seen that. I think it's a bit more exaggerated than it actually was, but certainly he does hold a lot of Japanese
yen.
Yen.
Yeah.
And this was in May sometime where he was interviewed.
This is interesting. Why? So, explain to me like I'm dumb. Why
he has no confidence
something that we
in the dollar.
Really?
Yeah.
Because what? Sorry.
No confidence in the dollar.
But what makes him have confidence in the yen?
It's just de-risking, but I have no confidence, honestly, in no currency because I believe if one goes, they all would go.
Yeah.
And this is where I see the crypto being influenced on people as a farce to adopt a digital currency that the system would then have control over.
Interesting.
But
when you guys are done, I'll tell you my biggest risk, and it's completely different.
What is it?
My biggest risk is twofold. It's how it's affecting the average man, which is the social decay and this fragmented focus, this dumb scrolling, and this the fact that you can't sit without being bombarded and being pulled left and right every single minute of the day. So it makes you very inefficient, very distracted, very unfocused, and probably people with ADHD is going to skyrocket. I think this is going to be the biggest threat because at the end of the day, every economy is based on human capital, right? So if this human...
What they want? It seems like that's what they want. It's like, let's lay you...
That's exactly what they want.
Let's lay off your jobs, AI will take over, and then let's intoxicate you with dopamine.
Yes.
Through these AIs.
Yes. With whether it's scrolling, whether it's things that are on like for me, for example, what I do is I turn off every single notification except the important one. Okay. Every single notification is off.
Can I tell you what the craziest manifestation this I think is going to be? Is when they start using AI in pornography. Right? Because already there's people there's already, there was a movie, right? I never watched it, but I heard about it, where a guy falls in love with his robot. It's an AI. It's not a physical robot.
Blade Runner.
I'm not sure what it's called.
It's Blade Runner, right? Yeah, it's Blade
No, Blade
Runner.
Runner was the vampire, wasn't it?
No. Blade Runner. It's basically where human beings advance so much that you can't even tell the difference between a robot and a real human.
No,
and then
this one was about one man.
okay,
He's like a social outcast, but he's got like an AI technology inside of his apartment.
okay,
And he falls in love with it. He has intimacy with it and everything and so on and so forth. So, like, for example, like if you think about pornography, right? Pornography is like an action movie. An action movie when a guy catches a bullet, he takes two to his chest, he keeps running, he jumps from one skyscraper to another.
yeah,
That's fantasy. That's not real. You could be the strongest, toughest man on the block, bro. You're not jumping from one skyscraper to another and landing and taking a bullet, and that doesn't happen. Like that, pornography is exaggerated. So the things that are taking place and the way that the dopamine is being spiked, and the way that they're demonstrating what's taking place, it's not real. It's acting. Do you know what I'm saying? Things are being acted out. I read an article, subhanAllah, there was with one of these individuals, and they're talking about how to record a scene, it takes them days. Like a person thinks that's just one sit, a man's in and out. It's taking days because the angles are so hard to actually keep up and without going into details. Now imagine now with AI now when they start, right? They start further making the process more refined.
and the more data they have of you, the more they understand where your likes and dislikes are from, and so now we'll push what you like and all the weird things that you like, and we'll cater to you exactly what you want. Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling.
I want to ask a question before we move on to the next one. So, what specific are these fears that we've talked about? Are these things that wealthy men should be paranoid about? Like people like our audience, people like our members, or are there other problems specific to them?
I think
What's the biggest risk to our audience, to our, to our
all of the above. I think it applies to all wealthy people as well. Another one probably we did not touch on, like jurisdiction. Figure out your jurisdiction.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about.
That's very important going into 2026 and the years and the decades to come. Where is your residency card? Where is your passport, or where are your passports? Where are your bank accounts offshore? How's your structure? How's your entity, foundation, trust? Everything, it needs to be sorted ASAP.
I think, again, this is something I think
Very
about.
valid.
Yes.
When I hear you guys' thoughts, I think about this often, right? Any place I can think of a counter argument to be in that place.
That's why we need multiple jurisdictions.
Right? So you have to, I feel like, man, it has to be multiple.
I mean, in agreement with whether Brother Sam said in a really, really, really great book written about Naval Ravikant. Is one of the great business.
The Almanac.
Naval
Ravikant.
Ravikant. He says one of the biggest determinant of how successful you might be in business is choosing where you live and where you stay. Yeah. Because being in the right ecosystem and in the right place, at least most time of the year, in addition to a few other place, is the single most important determinant of how successful you are. For example, if you want to do trade and you sit in the desert, I don't know, in Africa or something, you're just not going to get anywhere. If you're going to go in a place where there's a lot of red tape, you're not going to get anywhere. And he wrote that in the book, and I thought that was so eye-opening. And exactly what Brother Sam said is you have to choose your residency, the place where you are, very correctly so that you can navigate properly.
But the thing is, what happens if the world goes left? And it's my residency here is not because of economic benefits, it's for survival, So the reason why Saudi Arabia is so appealing to me is there's so much of Saudi Arabia, which is just desert. It's just not populated, right? Where if you live, may Allah protect us, right? Of course, we're talking about a situation where we don't want anything negative to happen. The Prophet told us, don't hope to meet the enemy, right? And ask Allah for safety and security. So we ask Allah for safety and security. I mean, but we're just talking, I think it's good to have these discussions. So
worst case.
Yeah, worst case. Like somewhere where you are outside of major cities. Major cities usually are problematic, right? Whenever there's, warfare or threats, it's major cities that get attacked. But people that live in rural areas, like the thing about Saudi Arabia, it's a desert, bro. You can go to a mountain and set something up, or you might want to be in a country like Pakistan that has a very strong military, right? If it has, but then at the same time, Pakistan's also with that strong military at risk of conflict across.
So I think, Sheikh, that's where it comes in, because nobody can time it, right?
Can't time
so
it,
that's where you need to have jurisdiction set up. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, jurisdiction set up, accessibility set up, and I think also investment wise. For me personally, I don't want to be biased here, and the brothers will all agree. That's why this panel is sometimes biased panel. Jurisdictionally, there's only one asset class the government will fight to protect. Government will fight to protect jurisdictionally. It's real estate.
Why would the government fight to protect it?
Because that's title, that's land. And if that's not protected, a lot of other things fall.
It's the biggest asset class.
Yes, they're not going to, and that is the land, right? That is the land. If they tell you, okay, foreign ownership forever to Mohamed in Dubai, in Sharjah, in Ajman, they give you have the land title. Now, all you need to see is, okay, is this jurisdiction, subhanAllah, like in Bangladesh, it could be the land that my forefathers have been living for generations, but somebody else could come and put a claim. It's not jurisdictionally strong. As long as the country is jurisdictionally strong, where they enforce things, it's enforced, your title to a land is your safest investment. Real asset is your safest investment when you're diversifying into other jurisdictions. Now, compare it with stocks, compare it with companies. Rules can change. Nobody cares. You have to, okay, so for example, we sign a business contract. We sign a business contract that I get 10% equity in your company. Now we have a dispute because our contract was that, hey, 10% equity, but I'm silent. I just invested. Now you have to give me my profit, right? Now let's say you don't give me the profit. What do? Is it by default? Nothing happens by default, like how it happens with land. This is my title. This is my land. Now you have to go through the courts, go through the process. The government doesn't care. It's civil. Go and fight in the court. It might take 3, 5, 7 years. But with a land, that's not how it is. Especially in a country like this, that's not how it is. It's my title, it's my land. Khalas. No questions asked. There's no dispute. There's no shadow of doubt. So even when we are diversifying jurisdictionally, investment-wise, the real estate is always the safer option. That was a plug.
If you're gonna sum up
I was gonna end that with don't buy crypto.
If you're to sum up the risks, forget all the jargon we spoke of. If you just need something for the audience, I would say do not think that tomorrow you're going to wake up to the world as it is today. There's not always going to be sunshine every day.
You need to have foresight.
So you need to think about what's coming tomorrow and prepare
100%.
accordingly.
100%.
The world is not going to remain the same forever.
Yeah.
It's changing fast.
It's changing fast.
Be prepared.
It's truly a global village, man. It's literally truly a global village.
I'll go even further. Sometimes people think I'm a bit too much when I say this, but you should actually even think of not just your kids, but even your grandkids and all your lineage. Because if you look at all the top business families in the world, or let's say, forget the world, the Muslim business families, the big Muslim known business families that have had great generational wealth. They always had the head of the family, as Brother Ebrahim said, someone that had so much foresight that he would guarantee his lineage for the next 100, 200 years.
So Trump's trying to do.
Sorry?
So Trump's trying to do now.
Yeah. I mean, if you have that kind of mentality, you're not only are you serving yourself, but you're also really doing good to your lineage. And this is, in my opinion, in Islam, this is the most blessed thing you could do, is because you're really shielding them from God knows what's going to happen in the future. And you'd be surprised at the amount of very wealthy individuals and families that I know personally that don't have a succession plan. And I talk to them and I'm like, you don't have a succession plan? Your dad is worth, I don't know how many hundreds of millions, and you don't have a succession plan. And the amount of stories that I know of kids and uncles that are still fighting now, 10 years after the head of the family passed away, over the inheritance and this and that, because they don't have succession planning, is actually what destroys a lot of very wealthy Muslim business families. There's a family here that I'm not going to mention that's super wealthy, super established, and they employed tens of thousands of people. The government had to interfere.
Yeah. It's still going on.
It's still going on.
Yeah.
The government, imagine, the Dubai government had to interfere and put people on the board to protect from the company from going bankrupt.
We'll bleep it out.
Sorry?
We'll bleep it out.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes.
But make sure you bleep it out. Huh? We don't want any legal problems.
Make sure you bleep that, brother.
Yeah, it's closed. Yeah, but imagine.
Yes. No, it's a huge issue.
Imagine, like this is what brother Ibrahim really hit it on the nail, is that you have to have foresight. As a head of the family, you should be responsible not for just for your kids, for your grandkids and their kids, because you are the one that sets the tone for all the generations.
This is the example of Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? If you look at almost all of his du'as, all different prophets have different du'as. Almost all of his du'as, he making du'a for his offspring, not his children, his lineage, like all of them to come. And as Muslims, it's not just our family; it's the ummah as a whole. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think this is the difference between the Islamic concept of making money and just capitalism in its pure essence, which just I'm just thinking about me
without any moral responsibility.
Exactly. So what opportunities are there in 2026, Sam? Let's flip it now. So what are low hanging fruits? What are things that you're optimistic with regards to in 2026?
Personally, building team.
Interesting.
Yeah, building like the best killer elite team ever. Like ever. For the global operation that we're trying to do, inshallah, with the fund. We didn't talk about it publicly, but inshallah we're going to launch soon and talk about it. But with the real estate fund and with our real estate operations that we're having, like hiring the most talented team from all over the world and creating like actually what we stand for. Like the Muslim ecosystem that's owned, operated and ran by competent Muslims. You don't get hired just because you say the Shahada. That's just like a given requirement, right? But you have to be the best of best, inshallah.
10.
So yes, like you can coach the 10s. That's the level. That's the level. Like the elite level. Like you get calls when basically there's a world issue. Those type of people, right? So inshallah, that's I'm excited.
You managed to hire any of them yet?
Huh?
Have you managed to hire some of them yet?
Inshallah, in the process. We'll disclose soon, inshallah, the team members.
Sheikh Ebrahim, what do you think are opportunities for 2026?
I'll touch on opportunities first and then my focus. So it actually comes back to what brother was saying earlier and what you mentioned about AI, etc. And everyone is after the easy money, right? The digital money, the easy money, etc. And there's a lot of good brick and mortar businesses that are now neglected without succession, etc. And boring businesses that have good cash flow and no one to run them because they could be a fast food chain. They could be
I was just going to say in F&B, so many businesses.
Okay. Taking all the risks into account, let's see where you should focus, right? You should always be in food. You should always be in mining or gold, proper real estate. So it's a proper asset class. You should always be in logistics. You could always be in. So these are the couple
that are always going to be
always in demand products and services, regardless when an empire is on its growth or decline.
So how do you get involved, like in a logistics company, like as in?
So say this right now. Before I answer that question, let's just highlight the opportunity, and then I'll answer that for you. With a lot of these founders now have educated the children. So their children are now lawyers, doctors, professionals, or a lot of them are just playing games and wasting their time and want to become internet millionaires. So this is the opportunity, that there's a genuine brick and mortar business that paid for generations or paid for decades of schooling the kids and, fulfilling the household responsibilities, etc., with no one left to take it over.
Yep.
These people are getting old, they want to get out, they're tired. Those businesses can now be acquired at good valuations, not at overvalued stock market, ridiculous 100 times profit valuations. 2-3 year multiples, within 2-3 years you'd get your money back. It can provide you a good asset that you could grow and become, that you could grow into something massive, or it could provide you a passive income stream. Put it in management and become passive income stream. So it gives you options. How you go about it, Sheikh, is just go around into your local locality and just go and look at the businesses, understand who owns what.
Yeah.
And if you find a good business that you know is a good business because you grew up in that locality, go and you know the owner, or go and just talk to the owner. How's things? What's happening? Hey, you old now. What's next?
Yep.
And as Sheikh says, you'll be surprised at those that the amount of them that do not have a succession plan.
This is amazing.
Yes.
Has anyone thought about this?
I have a friend that has a business
That's
based
one
on
of our
this
strategies
only.
with the fund, Sheikh.
Sorry?
That's one of our strategies with the fund. Exactly that. Literally exactly that. Private market, not public market. Like in private market, the opportunities that exist in private market is like beyond like belief.
So isn't the business already running? It already has operators.
Yeah.
Do you do anything to improve the business, or it's just that?
Yeah, so you could take it. A lot of those businesses would now be owner-led or personality
based. Yeah.
Personality based. You would have to change that.
Yep.
So yes, you may go backwards for some time, but with the right strategies, etc., in place, you could turn that into a monster.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that then leads me on to what I'm wanting to do. But if you want to crystallize this first, and then we can move on.
So logistics, like how do you get involved in logistics? Because usually logistics companies are not like small; they're big. That hasn't.
No, Sheikh. So you could get a small logistics company. You could find a company that
Like
has
a warehouse.
Not necessarily warehouse, just pure logistics or warehouse and logistics. You could have a company that just transports stuff. It's an individual operator. He owns 5 trucks. He has a couple of drivers. That's a logistics business. Or you could now go cross-border logistics, so where someone has access to, shipping routes and licensed for a particular route to transport beef to a certain country or medical grade equipment to country Y or Z. So it depends how sophisticated and the capital you have.
Where do you find these from?
Again, it's just knowing.
There's no
going to the
marketplace
market.
for it, Sheikh. If that's what you're asking. There's not like a marketplace.
I'm just trying to think of hacks.
Yes.
As in that was a hack. Just go to your local neighborhood where you got. Like, I'm literally thinking.
No, so there's online.
I'm literally thinking to fly to Witten High Street, which is where I grew up.
Through relationships
in London, because there's a and people. You're right. I'm seeing there's cafes. There's a donor grill that's been there since before I was born, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's always people there. Bro, that's a gold mine. I'm literally seeing it.
If you're gonna sit on the couch and do it, then you got to talk to merger and acquisition specialists.
Yep, M&A specialists.
But for these smaller businesses,
or you get then you get to business brokers.
Business brokers, M&A specialists. Yeah.
I mean, there are. I as I told you, I know someone that has a business model just based on that, and all he does is what Brother Sam said: personal relationships. He just goes around, as Brother Ibrahim said, and goes around the market, talks to people
in the UAE.
In the UAE and also abroad.
And he has a marketplace, basically?
I mean, now he's just kind of doing it informally.
We should strike a deal with him for the cave.
Yeah.
Present good deals for our guys.
Yeah, we could. I don't know how far he's gone into it now, like where this was like a year ago. So I don't know how much more he invested in it. But basically what he used to do is he used to find the company and find a buyer for it.
1 second.
And match these two together and get a commission off of the deal.
He's a business broker, basically.
The business broker, yeah.
But Memorae, remind me at 7:30 p.m. today to speak to Brother Mohamed about his friend who's a business broker, striking a deal for the cave guys.
There you go.
It's done.
Nice.
Mashallah.
So yeah, it's basically this is what he does. And he got the inspiration, he told me, from sitting one day in a sauna, and he was talking to an old gentleman, like Brother Ibrahim said, that he was surprised that his business was so good, cash flow was really good, but he's like, my kids are not interested.
Yeah,
one is one is somewhere else, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Everything is like your entire economy, especially in a place like Dubai, is based on SMEs.
Yep.
At least 50% of them will not survive up to the second
That's
generation.
what we're doing with the escrow roll-up, Sheikh, in the US. Like we found our 4th company now.
Escrow company.
Yeah, that's exactly, because these are dinosaur businesses. 30 years, 40 years in business.
Math. I'll break it to you in simple math. I always like to convert everything to digits. They say that most businesses don't survive third generation, right? So that means 33%. So automatically, you know from business and from all the numbers that 33% of businesses can't make it up to the third generation. That means 33 or 40% are at least in need of someone to make them continue up to the second or third generation. So because if 33% don't make up to the third generation, that means 33% of them are probably failing after the first generation. So that's automatically 40%. Simple math.
Okay, so F&B,
logistics, trading, any sort of commodity.
Yep.
Be it gold, be it any
you're talking
food
about
product.
A company that trades, or having the actual commodity as a hard asset?
The hard asset commodity.
As in having gold on your name.
Yeah, just trading. I mean, it could be rice, it could be wheat, it could be as depending on your level. It could be going to the local wholesaler, filling a van or a bakkie or a truck full of goods, going door to door and selling the thing.
Sorry,
I know people that have made fortunes.
Fortune on that, yes.
That's my father began like that.
Well, I'm just trying to understand. So you wouldn't do that yourself. You're saying you will buy rice, hire someone to go and sell it on your behalf.
No, I'm saying it depends on the individual and what's his capacity. So if someone's starting up with very low capital, he'd have to put in hard work.
No, we're saying
if he's starting with capital, then he could use leverage. He could get others to do it, to do the work for him, and he's more focused on the buying and the on that. If at a different level of capital, he could buy the business that trades in commodities.
Okay, that's the third one.
We mentioned logistics,
F&B,
real estate.
Yes, even service-based businesses, Sheikh. Like, a lot of service-based businesses. It's a needed service. It's been around for a long time. For the US, I could use the example of escrow. But even here, let's say Amr centers, things like that. It's in a good location. It's been running for a while, but the next generation...
No, I'm saying it's look, medical. Medical is something. You don't need to be a doctor to own a hospital or a chain of medical clinics.
Most owners are not doctors, actually.
No, but I'm thinking, so from like a passive lens, I buy something that's already running. I don't want to grow it.
No, if they don't...
That's the easiest way to lose money, Sheikh.
Exactly. I was just going to say.
But then I'm a private equity firm.
Private equity does a lot more than just buying businesses and collecting rent. You got to grow them. You got to put in the team. You got to take out. There's a lot of effort.
So why don't I just give them money? Why don't I just invest in a private equity firm then?
You would not earn the most leverage, and I would say it's very. So I come from the school of keep my capital in my pocket. I love Sam. I love a lot of other people running different syndications or funds or things like that. Any advice, any help, literally go on my hands and feet and make something happen for you, that's fine. But from a principle of life experience is I'm actually now consolidating and only focusing on things that I can control and I have control of, not passive investments.
Interesting.
So I'd have passive investment in real estate. I mean, collect rent, that's something else. But as a business, I have to be active.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't deploy capital.
Interesting. Allah barik. Interesting. Okay, so that's that. Was there another point you wanted to make in terms of opportunities?
No, so I think those are the angles of opportunities, and then I think my focus for as I said, it's bringing. I've spread myself out too far geographically. I'm now consolidating. I'm using UAE as a serious base. And deploying a large portion of my portfolio would be UAE based. I am in South Africa. It has its challenges, but it's an emerging market, so the returns are exceptionally high.
In South Africa?
In South Africa. Then I am now looking personally, or what I've identified, is there's a boom of a lot of easy money guys out there who've made it in crypto, who've made it in online businesses, etc. And I see that they just have very profitable income streams, but they don't have a business. And I see me being able to guide a lot of them to turn that into
an actual business.
Into an actual business.
That's not personality based.
Asset.
Yeah.
that can be valued, sold, or kept as a passive or active business. And that's something that I would want to focus on in 2026.
Allah barik. Yourself?
Well, what was the question?
What's the opportunity for in 2026?
Opportunity and what you focus on.
Yeah, but you mentioned what you're focusing on, but not your opportunities. So
yes,
I'm going to come back to you.
I mean, I would agree with Sam on one thing, which is building teams, like something that's within the horizon now that we're working on, just really, really, really having the best of the best under one roof. But I would say the second most exciting thing that I can't wait for is tokenization of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because this is going to be a game changer, and we're at the beginning of the wave, so we're just in the right time to get on it. So I think that is going to be really, really, really big.
Mm-hmm.
People underestimate how big it's going to be, because exactly what Brother Ebrahim said, all these crypto boys that made their money overnight, they want to park their money somewhere. And we all know real estate is the best thing. Real estate is the best thing. That's where you need to put your money. So basically, that's why I think it's really going to change markets. It's really, really going to change markets.
Well, these crypto guys, basically, you're just seeing it as that's just money sitting there for your take.
When is the debate?
So I need to find a crypto guy.
Put a challenge out there, Sheikh. Come on.
If there's anyone that is in the crypto space and would like to debate if they believe that crypto, Bitcoin is better than real estate, then, you know.
Better than real estate as an investment
class. As an investment class, yeah.
Not necessarily real. I think you're better than hard assets.
Better than hard assets.
Bring all, no problem.
Yeah, it's going to be messy. It's going to be very messy.
By the way, I'm here to learn from both sides.
Yeah, he'll be the judge.
But what was your question? I'm actually curious, because it sounded like a good question.
No, so you answered it. So what opportunities can our audience look forward to in 2026?
Oh no, I think you were going to ask something else about the crypto guys. You said that with all.
Oh yeah, I was going to say. So I guess in your mind, you're just seeing that as a money grab. Like that money is gonna just come to real estate.
It's not money. It's just the numbers on the screen.
But they're gonna take it out, right?
It's if your wallet gets hacked.
Yeah.
If something happens, if everybody decides one day that Bitcoin is a crap coin,
yes.
Any of this, it's all perceived value. If that perceived value actualizes in real life, you have no money. You just have a bunch of numbers and maybe some software, some nice video games that you can play with to make you feel rich. Sorry, no offense to anyone.
So your point is take the money out before.
Now. Like if they could do it yesterday, do it yesterday.
But the thing is, they don't understand real estate. So in two sentences, very simple, like what returns can they look for? They just want to have their money. They just want to make returns, bro.
First of all, a human being.
When you say real estate, what do you mean? Do you mean development?
I mean any part of real estate, the whole ecosystem. Whether you are on the ownership, whether you are in tokenized real estate, whether you're an agent, whether you're a developer.
Just give them one thing. It's confusing for them.
I mean,
they don't understand it.
The one thing I would say right now, since they're crypto guys and that's the field they come from, so I'll talk to them in their language. Tokenize real estate.
Okay.
That's it. Invest in companies that tokenize real estate. UAE, US, whatever
you still have crypto, but it's backed by...
Exactly. That means you can have all of the liberty and the freedom. So now it's not just
numbers on the screen. It's actual value.
It's actual value. I mean, you have to make sure that that the jurisdiction is solid too, because you don't want to go to a sketchy place where you have to make sure you have to do your due diligence.
And the company and operators are legit.
Exactly. You don't want to be an idiot. Like make sure that you like, for example, I would think companies in Dubai are legit, at least the ones that have done it so far. Mm-hmm. You know, so I would say...
if I want to buy tokens today, I can buy it today?
Now you can, yes. Yes. Now, obviously...
Why is everyone not talking about this?
Because it's still very new, Sheikh.
It's very new and anytime a new product comes into market, it takes time for people for it to grow on people, you know? But I would also kind of... be the devil's advocate and say that because there are so many few players now, it's still a bit expensive. The returns are not great.
Okay.
So it's still a bit expensive. So basically now it's a seller's market. The seller, he knows he only has one or two people he's competing with in market. So he's grabbing most of the profits for himself. But now with the legislation that's coming along and the changing of the market, and then there's going to be 10, 20 players, then it's going to become really interesting. And then you're not sitting on crap coins anymore. You're actually dealing with real assets.
Barakallah fi. What's the opportunity in 2026?
Well, quick, Sheikh, is basically institution grade, asset backed, Sharia compliant investments, and democratize it. Right? So,
what on earth does that mean?
Yes. So all of the above that we discussed, including what Brother Ebrahim said about companies, right? So not everybody, like for example, Brother Ebrahim said, look, I only park money in companies that I can control, I can see. Why? Because mashallah, tabarakallah, he understands it. This is his game. So this is not the advice you'd give to someone who's a physician.
No.
Yeah, this is not the advice you'd give to someone who's an IT engineer. Be great at what you're doing.
Okay.
Then park the money. And this is where I see the opportunity is we want to be that provider of our own institution and governance. We're not saying park the money in Apple in a Sharia compliant way. Okay. Apple is Apple. We're not saying park the money in Microsoft in a Sharia compliant way. And we have now found out what Microsoft has been doing for the last 2-3 years, right? We want to create our own institutions, hard asset backed. And when I say Sharia compliant, it's not only, there's no interest. No, it's everything is Sharia compliant. It's what we say is what we provide.
I'm going to come over and shake your hand.
No, come on, you're pressing.
So we've been complaining
Yes.
all those years, and you saying, okay, enough complaining. There's a solution.
That's it.
This is our own.
This is our own ecosystem,
Infrastructure,
own
ecosystem.
infrastructure.
Stop
Now we're
moaning.
going to democratize that access, meaning give that access to everyone instead of keeping a very high ticket, keeping it behind closed
You're
doors.
talking about your private equity fund.
Yes, Sheikh. So it won't be only private equity fund. It will be real estate and hard asset backed. That's going to be our core ethos.
And that's what you're saying is that the opportunity in 2026 is the one that you're facilitating for the Muslims. And I know you're not going to say it like that, but that's what you're saying.
Yes, this is the opportunity I see. Let anybody facilitate it. Doesn't have to be me facilitating it.
But you've
This
gone
is the
through
opportunity
hard
I
yards,
see.
You've gotten through the regulations,
and this is what-
hurdles and everything.
Yes, inshallah, like we're 6 to 8 weeks away from the time that we can actually talk about it publicly and give the details out. But inshallah, Sheikh, this is where I see the opportunity is.
Interesting. This has been a very educational discussion.
Imagine, Sheikh, so sorry. Imagine Brother Ebrahim found this like very good F&B shop that's dying out. Okay. Now, let's say it's a $100 million business. And mashallah, he can do it himself. He's like, I want to give access to everyone. So now we create our proper governance system. That has to be, this is what we need to invest in. This is a Muslim business. Worked hard for the last 60, 70 years. Do you want to let it die down? Do you understand, Sheikh? Or do you want to actually institutionalize it with the right operators and give access to investing in that business to Muslims from the West?
Okay.
This is what I want to do, Sheikh.
This is very brilliant, Sheikh. Sorry, I'm going to
go
this thing. What you're doing is honestly phenomenal. Why? A lot of the times, and even from my own experience, these businesses either collapse and die with no succession, or they actually go back into the Western
the hands of the West.
ecosystem. So,
so many businesses I know here.
Unilever or a Procter and Gamble
Correct.
will come and buy it out, and,
Yep.
and then it's gone.
Yep. They've
This
been
way,
doing it.
you're keeping it in Muslim
Yes,
hands.
They have been doing it.
So it's massive.
And not only defense of keeping it in Muslim hands, we do offense. There's so many businesses in the US that are actually dinosaurs, 30, 40 years old.
You buy them and put them in
We
Muslim
buy
hands.
them and put it in Muslim hands. These are great businesses. We bring it to our hands. Because that's what, if I can mention a very quick story, Sheikh, if you give me permission. I'm sure probably Brother Ibrahim knows. I don't know if Sheikh knows. Probably
I'd be
Sheikh
very interested to have a chat
So
with
you-
you. on-
Yes, you will be inshallah part of it, inshallah. So basically, I don't know if you know this. I'm sure you know the story, Sheikh. There's one man and his one man's betrayal 250 years ago basically took our whole ecosystem from our Indian subcontinent to the British. Who's that man? Mir Jafar, a Bangladeshi man in 1757. Until that point, British Empire has not entered the Indian subcontinent up until that point. So there was a battle of Plassey. In Bangladesh, it's called Battle of Plassey.
Okay.
Okay, 1757. So Nawab Sirajuddaulah was the Nawab of Bengal. He was the most powerful Nawab at that time of the whole region, of the Indian subcontinental region. And his general, Mir Jafar, cut a deal with the British, the East India Company, where he said, like, okay, when we show up to the Battle of Plassey, British East India Company only showed up with 1,000 soldiers. We showed up. Nawab Sirajuddaulah showed up with 50,000 soldiers. And out of that 50,000 soldiers, the biggest group of soldiers was led by Mir Jafar. And what his plan was, we're just going to stand down. We're going to go to the battle. We're not going to fight. So
As in he backstabbed his own Nawab?
He backstabbed his own people. He was a Bengali guy backstabbing Nawab Sirajuddaulah.
It's exactly what Abdullah ibn Masur did, Battle of Uhud.
Battle of
But he said,
Uhud.
we're going back.
Yes. So he did that. And because of that, this was the first entry, can you believe, guys, of the British Empire into the Indian subcontinent. They executed Nawab Sirajuddaulah and they promised Mir Jafar something, but like they always do, they never delivered. And within a year, the man jumped into a well and killed himself. Mir Jafar died a miserable death, so nothing happened. Then what did India do? British East India Company do? In 200 years they ruled. They siphoned $45 trillion in today's money. $45 trillion in today's money from Indian economy. And India is basically India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. We're talking about the whole region, right? $45 trillion, just to give context, is equal to China and US's GDP combined. That's what they siphoned out back in the days, right? And they used that. So they used...
What's siphons? You mean they robbed?
They robbed, yes.
They literally took.
Just to give people context, the Mughal Empire would produce 25% of the world's GDP.
Yes.
At the time. The entire world's GDP, a quarter of it.
Yes. So this was after the fall of Mughal Empire.
Okay.
And still the wealth was there. And that's why they came in, right? Now, so what they did, think of it. The money they made from that region financed their entire world expansion.
Yes.
Entire world expansion. So they did not finance...
So that was the beginning?
That was the beginning. So you could think of it like you buy a company. So your money is there. Your capital is there. You buy a company, which is part of your little bit of equity. Then whatever you make from that company, you buy 100 other companies with it while your capital is still there. Britain is still Britain. You did not use any of Britain's money. You basically took $45 trillion and used that to expand. And I would go even further. Mir Jafar is the first domino of even carving out Middle East. If that guy had not betrayed, how would British get the pie? Because that's the first time they actually colonized. That was the first land they colonized. And it's just because we sold out to the West. Now it's time. Okay, whatever happened last 250 years ago. And a lot of our parents, forefathers, we moved to the West, from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Now is the time to bring it back. Literally, now is the time to bring it back. If you're there, if you cannot physically come, invest your wealth here. If you can physically come and contribute with your skills and competency.
Sheikh, you remember that episode on Chamabai when Abu Bakr asked, what's that one quote from a book that, it really impacted you? And I mentioned the one where, from The Alchemist, where it mentioned that, I'm paraphrasing, but each person, his life has a direct consequence on the greater outcome of history.
Yes.
That's exactly
That's Mir Jafar in a negative way.
I think everyone should have, you know.
Wait, what was the quote again?
Basically, your life, right? Whatever experiences that you're having, don't think it doesn't have an outcome on the greater outcome of history, right? I'll give you an example on like a lesser level how this applies, right? Let's just say, for example, I remember, I can't remember who said this to me. Someone said to me, it's always the non-practicing Muslims that make our life hard. Like when you're at work and you want to pray and you're like, I have to go to pray, but your boss says, but Abdullah, Zainab there doesn't need to pray. Why do you need to pray? Do you know what I'm saying? And I imagine just one person who didn't hold the fort and say, no, I need to pray. Now your entire division is not praying, right?
Yeah.
And then that becomes, as in, every time you give in, every time you compromise, every time you sell out, boss, it's not just you. You're letting down a whole tribe behind you, man. And the consequences 100%. You can't even imagine. And I don't think Mir Jafar ever would have maybe even done that if you knew the consequence, because he killed himself.
Yep.
Due to the regret.
Yep.
You don't know the outcome that's going to come due to your one bad, man. You don't know the outcome that it's going to bring. Allah is very deep, very deep.
Yeah, I mean, we even in, for example, us in Syria, like we have a saying that, بكرة بتشوفها بأولادك. Basically, if you do something wrong, you'll see it in your kids. Like, so it's this subconscious sort of affirmation that anytime you're doing something wrong, it's going to come back at you. Maybe nothing's going to happen to you, but your kids will suffer or your offspring will suffer because, like you said, along the same lines of that quote, is that the world has checks and balances all the time, which is ultimately controlled by God. And He's the all-knowing and almighty. And these checks and balances sometimes are not just immediate. They could be after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Jordan Peterson once said something, even though I don't like that guy that much, but he said something that's very true, supports what I'm saying, is that in all of my patients that I've had, it's always, always, always the ones that have the biggest issues, ones that have done something really bad in their life and that have not repented. And they paid the ultimate price for it some point in their life across, if you had to take like a timeline, somewhere across the line. And then they wonder why. Well, remember that thing that you did 6-7 years ago? It had the
effects of sins, basically.
100%.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not on you, it could be anything around you.
Barakallah feek, man. Just need to rush through some of the other topics, right? So we're going to try and finish everything in 15-20 minutes. So just some sound bites now, inshallah ta'ala. One thing I want to discuss is I think the Muslim entrepreneurial scene is going to blow up in 2026, inshallah. I really think it's going to blow up. We've seen a lot of, like, Muslim entrepreneurship seems to be the talk of the town. It seems to be the talk of the day in 2025. You see mashayikh, du'at, everyone's now doing series and lectures on Islamic finance and making money and this, that, and so on. I think we sparked the trend.
You started the trend, Sheikh.
But I think specifically online with like people building personal brands, there being podcasts, experts. We always complain. This guy who's talking on camera, he hasn't really achieved anything. I find that people that have achieved shy away from the camera, especially in our network, in our community, right? But I feel like we're starting to see the tide shift, and I think like 2026 is going to have a lot more Muslim voices, Muslim authorities, experts, strong personal brands. What do you think?
No, I agree with that. Just one comment or piece of advice there is, I see a lot of the Muslim entrepreneurs or those creating their own personal brands coming in and talking to a Muslim-only audience, which is good, and that's a personal option for personal choice for an individual. And I've debated one or two of them, and when I understood where some of them were coming from, then I understood that for this person, his choice is correct and it's good. And for others, it's more a marketing angle that, it's a much
easier to get a Muslim
sort of audience or easier to target. But I see the opportunity strongly there in Muslims who are practicing and are good in business, talking from a Muslim moral compass to humanity at large. Why? Because humanity today is morally bankrupt. And when Muslims led, and you taught me this, Sheikh, you asked us some time back, what is our purpose on earth? And we all gave you different answers. Most of us were along the worship and obedience. And you said, no, your purpose on earth is Ja'ilun fil ardi Khalifa. I've sent you as a leader. And when Muslims were leaders and kept the principles of deen and never compromised on that, we advanced socially, technology, in science, in every aspect we excelled. And when we looked to other societies as if they were better than us, and that's where our downfall began. So I think Muslims strongly speaking to humanity at large from a Muslim moral perspective will resonate with a society that is now honestly becoming tired of hedonism.
No, Barakallahu, just to give context to the point, just so the audience can follow suit. The discussion we're having, it was at the last Righteous Rights, was that Allah has created us to worship Him, and that's the default. Everyone worships Him, right? But there's like some secrets that I think sometimes are left. When you think about it, like the human being, Allah Azza wa Jal, when He created the human being, He created them from the earth, and He molded Adam alayhi salam, but it was still not enough for Adam to live. He had to have a soul, but the soul didn't come from this earth. The soul came from something outside of this world.
Yes.
Right? As if to indicate and show that the human has something in him from outside of this world. It has something in him that's come from above, that's come from above the heavens, right? So he should aspire towards the heavens. He should aspire to do things bigger and greater than just because the earth is low, right?
Yes.
He doesn't just want to cling on to the earth. He wants to do great things. So the soul that you've been given is a great gift. And it's what makes you different to the rest of the creation. And it's to aspire to do great things. And then when you look at Adam, the first human who's our father, who started off the human race, Allah said, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. We've placed him as a custodian of the earth, as a caretaker, as a leader, a khalifa. He's been placed as a leader to take care of the earth and to have generations that are going to come after him. So it's his legacy and his heritage that we adopt, So as in to aspire towards great things, barakallah feek. So no, I do believe that, and I feel like this is why I think this is causing a lot of awakening in the US right now, right? Is because you got people like Tucker Carlson that are just
doing better job than Muslim media figures, honestly, in the podcast scene.
And all he's doing is just wait, interest is bad. It's a non-Muslim guy too. Interest is bad. He's saying
debts are bad.
Don't kill innocent people. It's I don't know if you saw yesterday they had the America Fest, and Ben Shapiro attacked him on stage.
On stage.
He
Look at
attacked
the
him
division amongst MAGA and the right wing.
That's our next show, by the way. It's all falling apart, man. This is literally the event.
It's not even been a year Trump's been president.
Yeah.
It's not even been a year.
His whole speech was prepared to attack him. And then he comes on after and he was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
And he was
also there in that show.
Right after Sheikh, he responded back to him. And it was, to me, it was such a dumb move from Ben Shapiro because he came before him. So obviously the guy's going to have the last words.
Yes, counter.
But anyway, his point was like...
He's used to debating college kids, Sheikh. When he faces the real man, he doesn't have the IQ.
He doesn't stand up, huh?
Small, what does it? It's Napoleon syndrome.
This guy. Yeah, Napoleon syndrome. Bonaparte syndrome.
Yeah, this
Napoleon
guy.
syndrome, sorry. Napoleon syndrome.
The short man syndrome.
But point being is that, I think this is what's going to make... the Islamic brand so appealing is that they, as long as they don't compromise the moral standard. But let's move on, inshallah, to the next thing, so we can kind of swift through as much as we can here, inshallah ta'ala. Gen Z, man, Gen Z. We've got a lot of Gen Z entrepreneurs, right? Guys that are 20, 19, 21, 22, 25, a lot millionaires. Allah barik. Look at brother Abu Lahi, Allah barik. Brother Arman. These are brother Ammar. I think he's a bit older, but still kind of in that region. Guys that are doing great stuff, Allah barik. And I'm not talking about them when I say this, but you can see that there are like some gaps that Gen Z have kind of missed out on, right? They don't come across as polished. I don't think they value relationships enough. I don't feel like they know how to negotiate, stuff like that. There's obviously great stuff that they have. They're great with computers, Allah barik. They can run ads. But I do genuinely fear for them. And, we do have their attention. They probably didn't have the attention span to make it through this part. Maybe they've just skipped. They heard it in the intro and they just shorts. But I'm actually worried for them. And I'll give you an example, right?
Yeah.
By the way, when I'm talking about this in a negative way, I'm not talking about Brother Abu Lahi or anything like that. I believe he's a great operator.
You use them as a good example.
But I want to use him as an example of something I'm scared for him.
Okay.
Right? So I don't know if a lot of the younger brothers have the foresight to see some of the things that we're talking about today, right? And inshallah, he is the kind of guy that does. But I'm just using him as an example to make a point. So obviously his thing, Allah barik, he has an influencer marketing accelerator, right? Someone who wants to make money. They don't know, they want to have a side hustle, or they want to make money online so they can be remote. He teaches them how to make money online by basically brokering deals between brands and influencers, and they pocket the difference. Fantastic, right? Allah barik. But the thing that I'm worried for him is that there is definitely going to be a technology that's going to come, that's going to completely shake up his industry, man. That's going to make that obsolete. As in, I cannot see a world in which that doesn't happen very, very quickly. So I was even like brainstorming on his behalf, and I was going to talk to him about it when I see him, but maybe he can see the video, which is like, bro, maybe he needs to acquire a technology company that's working in the influencer marketing space, or build his own, because he's got the capital now. But this is going to be a completely different challenge, because if he does, he's going to have to now go into the tech space. And that's a completely different world. Do you know what I'm saying? But he's got the capital to do it. This is on the back of the book, you know.
Only the paranoid survive.
Only the paranoid survive, because he talks about these inflection points that come, right? And I feel like when money's easy come, easy go. You don't want to be caught with your guard down. Do you see what I'm saying, Sheikh? So I feel like that's the case with a lot of the brothers, in the sense where they're great at what they do, Allahu Barik, but zooming out the bigger picture maybe is a bit lacking. This is the benefit of obviously being inside the cave, right? Old money meets new money, and then they both benefit from each other. What are your thoughts on this?
So, Sheikh, exactly the opportunity that I've seen, and it's also a fear for a lot of them, because I have a soft spot for them. And it is something that I've chatted with most of them. And initially, though they may disagree, but when you really drill down, not a single one of them was able to disprove that all they have is just a profitable income stream. They don't have a business, regardless who it is. There's no business. It's a profitable income stream. It's not something that can be valued, that a buyer could value without deep risk or deep discounts, and could be transferred. So there's no transfer. It's simple stuff. You know, it's platform dependence, it's founder dependence, it is channel or geographic distribution dependency, things like that, which one is they've got to fix just to survive, because so far these guys have made it in the boom. They haven't seen an economic down cycle, which will come and will test them. So they got to prepare for that, number one. Number two is a lot of them, as you said, easy money, easy come, easy go. So start flexing and not saving, not putting money with Sam,
Investing.
not buying some gold.
That's the thing. I feel like they don't diversify the investments. I just want to invest in my business, which is great, but there's no diversification there.
So a bit of diversification, it's important. And also looking at the longevity. A lot of them would only wake up, when the chickens come home to roost. When the offer dries up, then what? Because we want the easy money, we want the simple way. But there has to be some complexity, and that's what makes it a business. Keep it as simple as possible. But I mean, is it offer one, offer two, as you say? Is it stepping into a parallel industry, is something like technology or an adjacent this thing? I spoke to you previously about a lot of them have complementary stuff that if they just did an M&A amongst themselves, even no cash leaving, they could build something phenomenal.
But these concepts of M&A don't exist in their mind, like, as in,
but they can't understand it.
No, as in this. As I'm saying, this education needs to be there, which is why I hope that if there is a Gen Z successful entrepreneur listening up to this point, this is why I really think they should commit to this podcast, man, because these are the kind of things, like, when I understood the concept of a roll-up, I was like, wow, like, instead of beefing each other, bro, let's just roll, let's just come together, bring our businesses together,
right?
And just
tomorrow
10x.
we'll both tomorrow we both more valuable.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I give one piece of advice for Gen Z? And probably I think that's the most important thing they'll ever do in their life. Find a mentor, and like a good one, an open-minded one. Why? Because when you have a mentor, especially from the older generation, you have that contrast. And exactly what Brother Ebrahim said, that, okay, what happens to things that I never even thought about? Let's sit down and brainstorm. Where can I take my business? How can I pivot from here to here? There are a lot of things that you, as a successful Gen Z entrepreneur, are never going to have the answers for, because you haven't lived that lifetime that allows you to have enough wisdom. And again, I'll refer to another book. Sheikh Mohamed bin Rashid, the ruler of Dubai, he wrote in his book is that when he was setting up Dubai and, setting up the government and stuff, he used to have weekly brainstorming sessions with his top people. Imagine the leader and the head of the best city in the world, even himself used to humble himself, be like, I don't have the answers to everything. Let's brainstorm. He used to bring the top people In other words, mentors in their respective areas.
Yeah.
Let's brainstorm together. This is what they need to do. You cannot make it on your own in this world, especially in this fast-changing world. You need a good mentor, a mentor that can listen, sit down, give you advice, and be open-minded to also how you can change things about. That's my advice.
Barakallah feek, Sam.
Sheikh, I'll quickly mention, subhanAllah, there's so many gems, right? I wish when I was 19 years old, 18 years old, Gen Z of that time, right? I wish I had someone like Brother Ebrahim. Like literally what he said just 5 minutes ago. If you're a student, you're always learning, right? I would basically just play on repeat and understand what he just said. Just 5 minutes ago, the 5-minute thing that he said. In our times, when I was 19, that was 14, 15 years ago, we didn't have people online saying these things, number one. Number two, let alone saying these things, understanding your Sharia alliance and being halal and this, forget that. Like, there's not even people. So finding mentors online was very difficult. Now you can find mentors online.
Yes.
Actual people who have paved the path and who have gone far ahead of you.
And they're willing to help.
They're willing to help. And this podcast could be one of those things. I'm not saying I'm your mentor, but there's so many guests bringing different. They're like, if you're a student, you'll find something, you'll pick something, right? Number one. Number two, Sheikh, going back to, let's say, Brother Abu Lehi's example, right? I spent, I don't know his business, right? I spent an hour with him. We had a meeting on a treadmill. We're both walking an oxygen gym, and that's when we had the meeting, right? So, yeah, and then we did assault bike. So what I saw in him, I see people's eyes. For me, this is like the measure. When I meet young guys, when I'm sizing them up, I look at people's eyes. So mashallah, he is very different than the normal Gen Zs that I know. Okay? Calm, stoic. There's a fire in his eyes. He will figure it out.
Yeah.
He will. This is
I believe that.
Yes, he's one of the guys. He will figure it out.
That's what I said at the beginning. He's not one of the guys I'm positioning this to negatively, but I just wanted to use.
By the way, he has some solutions actually already. So
already
identified
in
on
play.
himself.
And one thing, just like this is the first time I actually heard what his business is in one line. Actually, it's my fault. I didn't know exactly what he does, but he explained it well, like connecting the influencers to the brand and basically wholesaling real estate in our term. It's like what I used to do also when I was 19. Literally wholesaling real estate, getting sellers under contract, and then basically assigning, not even buying the real estate, bro, because I didn't have money to buy the real estate. Selling that contract to the buyer for a markup. You understand? So this is exactly arbitrage, basically, right? Arbitrage, yeah. So then once they have made the millions, what happens to them? I think Brother Abu Lehi needs to have a program. When they have made the 10,000 figures a month they're making, don't lose them. Now they got to your level 2. What do you do with that money? Okay, do you invest? Do you reinvest in your business? What do you do? I think he can have like a full circle of someone completely broke to going to a place where they're self-sufficient in the sense and investing.
He's about to have his first millionaire, Allah barik.
Alhamdulillah. So now that millionaire.
Now what he's going to do?
Now what is he going to do with that millions? I think that's where Brother Abu Lehi needs to step in.
The fund.
No, Sheikh, but you understand, teaching the principles.
I'm saying put in the fund.
No, but you have to learn the principles and then put in the fund.
No, but he should have. There's two. Right. One is that guy still has that business to run. So what is that guy's upgrade?
Yes.
That's a product that Abu Lehi should come up with. And yes, both of them.
I think he's made an inner circle product, and
inshallah.
I really, really want to add this because I really feel like it would help the audience, and I feel like it's my responsibility to give back. One of the most important business books that were written to show you how the business principles.
I love that you read books.
Thank you.
I just love that.
Harry, thank you so much. I appreciate it. That shows you how much business principles are timeless. Basic business principles. The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah.
If you read that book, you will see and you will understand that all you need are basic business principles. And if you find a mentor, you'll find that The Richest Man in Babylon, a book that was written by God knows how old, still the business principles apply today.
I want to correct what I said. It's not just that I love that you read books. You love the classics.
Yes, and you can internalize it and say it.
But it's the classics. You know, it's something that we learn in Islamic studies, which is that stick to the older works.
Yeah.
Because they stand the test of time for a reason.
Exactly. There you go. So that book is a must.
Personal experience, in beverage, when you had the top brand coming at you, what we found, it was always the basics that allowed us to survive and compete.
SubhanAllah.
Nothing fancy.
Simple stuff.
Simple stuff. Because, hey, make sure the product is cold, put a price on it, build a display,
Oh,
make
wow.
sure.
Yes, yes.
Execution, simple stuff.
Wow.
It always came down to that.
Yes.
Barakallah feek, man. So just quickly, I just want to some key stories, right? Right now, big story. So this guy called Witkoff, he's one of Trump's closest friends, multi-billionaire, real estate guy. His golfing partner. He's currently been flying over to Russia without CIA, without Secret Service, without without anyone, just on his own, speaking with Putin up until the middle of the night, past midnight, 5 hours. Did you know this?
I don't know this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
it's-
funny, Sheikh.
Yeah,
It's
it's
all they
chi-
show then,
It's
right?
chilling with him. We'll post the article on the screen.
Arch
screen
enemies, like, you know,
Yeah.
hanging out.
from the Wall Street Journal, and what he's doing is he's there basically discussing. They're trying to make a deal, man. They're trying to broker the ceasefire in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, and they also trying to strike a deal to uplift the sanctions on Russia, and basically a bunch of different things. And how this actually came about is that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, he called Putin, and he said to him, "Listen, if you want to try,
Like how you call his name. Putin.
yeah."
It's the British way of saying it.
How do you guys say it?
I don't even know how we say it, but it's not Putin.
In Arabic, it's Putin.
Putin. No.
Call
Okay.
him Putin, Sheikh.
Mr. Putin. So he calls Mr. Putin, and he basically says to him, "Listen, if you want to get to Trump, speak to this guy called Witkoff. Speak to this guy called Witkoff. He's not a politician. He's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's a businessman." He said, "Speak to him, you get to Trump."
Yeah.
Now, what I found amazing about this, what blew my mind about this, is that this is a conflict that's going on that literally is putting the world at the brink of war. You know, I don't know if you guys know, but the head of the army in the UK literally came out and said, "Listen, we're going to have to make some sacrifices. Just get ready for it. Like, our youngsters are going to have to make some sacrifices. We might have to go to war with Russia." Like, it's getting to that, bro. Do you understand?
Correct.
And they have not, Trump said, "I'm going to
24 hours.
24 hours." Bro, he wasn't able. He actually tried, but the guy tried. He wasn't able to do it. But a Muslim, a leader from a Muslim country, calls up Putin and says, "Just take my word, speak to this guy," and now they're talking. That blew my mind, man.
Yeah. You know who Steve Witkoff is, Sheikh?
I mean, I know he's a billionaire. I know he's his golf partner, but I don't really.
He's basically the Middle East envoy of Trump.
Okay.
Meaning he's basically the friend of Middle East.
But not official government position, right? But he just
Envoy.
the
just
relationship
fixer,
guy.
fixer.
The relationship guy.
Yeah, the fixer.
The negotiator.
Yep, the negotiator, the fixer. I didn't look much into the news. I just saw the headlines.
Yeah.
But if it is how it is being played out, this is phenomenal.
The reason why it's phenomenal to me is because Muslims have always had the backseat.
Yeah.
Colonization, we've always been second, third, fourth, fifth, right? Some things have already happened. Bro, now brokering, like Qatar's been doing negotiations, brokering peace, regardless, right? I'm saying, but this is bringing two superpowers together, man.
Yep.
And it's just having the savviness to know forget the government officials, forget the CIA, forget the congressmen, forget the diplomats, the businessman.
Mm-hmm.
And it also shows the power businessmen actually play in geopolitics.
Yeah. That's a key risk. Business and politics is, I see corporates taking over policy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something. But phenomenal. I didn't read too much into it.
I
but
also did not get a chance.
The Sam. I think that's highly impressive, especially for the region.
Yeah.
Peace is good. Peace is good for the world, outlook, everything. Yeah.
Especially when Muslims are seen. It's like, bro, you can try and make us out to be terrorists. It's that, look at Bondi Beach shooting. Look at the way Allah would decree. By the way, I believe it was a false flag. I believe 100% was a false flag.
It's a false flag.
100% was a false flag. The way the guy was using the bolt action rifle, bro. Bro, I watched every video. That guy was trained. Though he's ducking this, he's fighting the police. Bro, he's trained. Anyway, I believe it was a false flag. It just so happened that Allah will have a Muslim, Syrian man that will come and save the day with Allah's
And
permission.
a refugee, not even like
Immigrant.
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 Yeah. He doesn't even have the citizenship.
Accent.
Yeah.
With an accent, you know what I'm saying? His name's Ahmed.
Al-Ahmed.
His dad's name is Mohamed.
Al-Ahmed.
And his mum's wearing a hijab, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying, but look at who Allah will have that. Do you know what I'm saying? That decree in that way. Now, you can say what you want, bro, but Muslims are facilitating.
Netanyahu initially said he was Jewish, the guy that saved. Imagine.
Yeah.
Bro, then they start saying Christian.
Yeah, then they say the Christian crowd started saying, "Oh, he's Orthodox Christian."
But subhanAllah, but I'm saying, but look at that. And now I just want to reach out to my brothers in the West and just say, brothers, please just shut up, man. Just stop talking about Muslim countries in the sense where, there's problems we all know, but honestly, things are getting better.
Yeah.
You man are about to be put in the conscription on behalf of the British Army to go fight Putin, bro. Just allow it.
Yeah, now we're in the period, Sheikh. We're in the domino effect of Bir Jafar, right? Yeah. So it took take time.
And not just that, but I think they really saw the result of this ongoing useless war with Ukraine. They realized that you're just going to get nowhere.
I think they realized that a while ago, but they got themselves in a mess that they couldn't stop. And I'm saying, bro, just to get them to sit on a table is so hard.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think there's khair on the horizon. Anyway, on the Witkoff issue, the guy published a proposal on rebuilding Gaza into like this tech metropolis. High-tech metropolis. I don't know if you guys have seen this. And
it's called Project Sunrise, huh?
Project Sunrise is
That's
called.
the name?
It's called, yeah.
Is that the one where there was a big scandal from BCG?
I'm not sure.
About the rebuilding of...
I'm not sure, but they're asking for investments now. So they basically put the call out. I think $112.1 billion dollars is what they're saying is going to cost to build it. It's going to take 10 years. The UK is going to anchor this with 60 billion investment from itself.
What happens to the citizens?
Right, so there's that's the question, right? Is that it's supposed to be for them, apparently.
Okay.
But for me, I don't even think this is an actual real attempt to do it. I don't think they're ever going to get the funding from it. Who's going to invest their money in a country or in a place that's going to get that's still getting bombed? You wouldn't put your money in something like that, right?
If it's for social impact, of course we all would, right? If it's for the social impact, but these guys are not doing for social.
No, I think they know that. Yeah. My point is that I want to get your take on it. I don't think this is a real attempt to rebuild Gaza. I don't think they actually are even they're expecting to get the investments. I think it's just a way to whitewash the narrative right now, which is that let's stop talking about negative Gaza was bombed. Let's talk about Gaza's being built. So now that's what the conversation becomes. And hey, look, we're leading that conversation. And everyone kind of just forgets all that's happened. I feel like it's more of a PR play.
I think it's about both. I think there's genuine intent to build something in Gaza, not for the benefit of the people.
Exactly.
For their own, because they see Gaza as prime real estate.
Yep.
Trump said it many times.
Yeah.
And they have their own plans around that. For me, I don't want to go too deep into it. It's very simple to me that if foreigners have the say of how the rebuild is portrayed or how it looks and feels and what's being built, and not the citizens or the natives.
Yeah, where's the local mandate?
It's
right.
just whitewashed PR.
That was my point, right?
Yeah.
It's theft masked as progress.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm not very well versed in this, but I did read a very interesting article, but the whole point of this whole conflict was because of the oil reserves off the coast of Gaza that Netanyahu wanted to get access to, and that's primarily one of the main reasons why he created this whole conflict.
It could be. It very well could.
There was no like a really good documented, analyzed article like that refers to a lot of solid information that it's primarily because of the oil reserves.
Send that. I think that'd be good to discuss in a bit more depth. But I think we spent enough time on that particular topic. The last thing, inshallah, when we'll conclude, we'll talk about the fast-fatizing next week, because I think that's also very...
I like that word.
Yeah, fast-fatizing.
Fast-fatizing.
Not advertising, fast-fatizing.
Like fantasizing, advertising.
Yeah. But look, last thing, let's try and end on something a little bit, I guess positive, useful, because it's It's been a heavy topic, you know. But Sam, this is a clip from the previous podcast that we did.
Within WhatsApp, like, do you use any additional AI? I got labels, unreads, and all that. Like, because WhatsApp has become like the CRM now, unofficial CRM. Yeah. Do you guys use any AIs? Like, for example, on WhatsApp, let's say, Brother Imran texted me, hey, look at this thing. Okay, it's there. I want an AI to like now figure it out for me. When to look at it, how to look at it, when. Like, do you have anything like that?
So basically, we found a tool.
Yeah.
We found a tool. It's not exactly perfect yet.
Yes.
But it's
amazing.
It's kind of there. So have you, Sam, so you downloaded it. Are you using it?
Yes, I'm actively using it.
You're actively using it?
Actively using it. Actively now. My biggest issue was too many messages coming.
Sorry, let's just, it's called Memorae. It's called
Memorae. Yeah, Memorae.
Where is it from? Like, where is it founded?
I think America.
Okay.
I wish it was.
But I think they pronounce it Memorae.
Memorae? Okay.
Like playing with memory.
Oh, okay.
Memorae.
Okay,
Memorae.
okay.
But yes, it's very good, Sheikh.
Yeah.
It solves a lot of my bottlenecks.
So how have you been using it?
So number one is if I send, for example, I want to meet Brother Ebrahim.
Yeah.
We're talking on WhatsApp and he says, let's do 8 a.m. tomorrow coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, confirmed this location at Barsha.
Yeah.
Right. Now I can just take that screenshot, forward it to Memorae. Memorae is a chat on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
Memorae syncs to my calendar and everything. It's already on my calendar. Yeah, bro.
What you talking?
Whoa.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
That is
so
crazy.
now I don't have to send it to my EA and then wait like, oh, has the EA acknowledged it because he's not sending a thumbs up. So I don't know if he saw it.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening?
Go straight.
I'm an anxious person. Like if I send something to you, I need to respond right now. So this AI does things right now and does not make a mistake. Then I could be like, okay, let's say a long message comes from my US counterparty. And I already have a response in my head, but I want to take some time to think about it. What I would do previously is unread the message, right? Then, bro, there's an unread, like, becomes 200 by end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, so now what I do is when that comes, I kind of have an answer, but I'm still think about it for 2 hours or so. So I tell Memorae, hey, remind me to reply to Mohamed Sheikh Alsouk in 2 hours.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. And then boom, that's it. Khalas. In 2 hours, it sends me the reminder, send the reply. And then you're saying that you can draft the message now also through there and send it. I've not tried that part. And what they said, last point, Sheikh, the founder said, I don't know if he's the founder of one of the videos I saw. He said, we're going to have new upgrades every 10 to 15 days.
Yeah.
So you're going to have like 2 to 3 updates every month. Wow. So this is going to explode.
And if you take the third package, the highest package, which
this is what I got,
180 dirham per month.
It's nothing, man.
Which is like £40.
Yeah,
less than £40.
It's like $50-$60.
The middle package, the most popular one, is 60 dirham, which is like £12. It's not a lot, but if you get the top one, you automatically get the features. You don't have to like upgrade to get them. Wow. They're going to be part of your package. So what I love about it, there's many use cases, but in essence, it's kind of like your own personal cloud. Because the whole point is it's about memory. The whole thing here is about memory, right? It's about cognitive overload. You're a CEO. You're managing multiple things. You've got family. You've got life. You've got health. You've got social. You've got business. You've got all of these things. And it's all in your head, right? And you probably, some stuff is retaining in your head. Some is on your notes. Some is here. Some is there. You just put it on this channel in WhatsApp. And the reason why WhatsApp is great is because you're always on WhatsApp. Yeah. You can use it on Telegram and Gmail as well, by the way, on all three. So it's probably going to be on Slack and all these things as well.
Yeah. Can't wait to use it.
So in essence, it will store everything you give it in its memory on your behalf. Contacts, context of people, lists. Let's just say, for example, shopping lists. They happen to me all the time. I have to remake the shopping list, or my wife just remakes the shopping list. Or to be honest, we don't go shopping anymore. So this will fall about. But back it used to be, this will just keep, hey, give me my shopping list.
Can you have a plug-in to ChatGPT, for example?
They'll come up with
these integrations. They come with time, right? So
right now, your whole Google workspace is connected.
No way.
Yeah. Your whole Google workspace, bro. Yeah. So Drive, everything is connected.
So like right now, for example,
so can I tell it, hey, rename this and save it in this folder on Google?
Not yet.
No, okay.
Not yet.
I think you can.
You can, Shaf.
I think you can.
They're upgrading pretty fast.
I think it can reorganize your Google documents for you. Oh, yeah, it can. But Claude
No, I'm gonna get it.
But Claude can do that for you. You know, if you can connect Claude to your Google Docs, to your Google Drive, you can say, hey, like right now, Claude builds out entire things for me, your Notion and Slack and Asana.
Now imagine, Sheikh, with Memorae, imagine the context. Like it will have a chat history of me and Brother Imran for the last 2 years. It knows our relationship. Now imagine like it comes and amplifies. Like he asked me of something and I have to do. Yeah. Now it has 2 years of chat history. It knows exactly how to deliver just that.
Yeah.
That's insane, man.
So I think this is going to be great, man. That even right now, in the middle of our conversation, he just reminded me to do this. Now I don't I'm coming up with ideas for ads. Hey, listen, add this to my list of.
And you don't even have to type,
ad
voice
animals.
note it. You just voice note it.
Voice note it. send
For
it
me, that's
pictures.
the most interesting features because now you're always on the go.
100%.
Always on the go.
Yeah, so you just voice note your assistant.
You know, every day you do respond to messages, but there's people that you just forget to respond to. So you could literally just in your calendar have 7:30 to 8 p.m. half an hour to respond to everything. As messages are coming out throughout the day, you could just say, "Hey, listen, Brother Faisal, remind me to respond to him at 7:30." Bang.
Wow.
Simple. Do you know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
So, Memorae. Download it. Inshallah. We're here to help you guys. AI.
Fantastic.
Guys, with that said, may Allah bless you, man. We need to end this discussion. We have another podcast to go into in another studio, so we need to prepare for that. But if you like what you saw, man, this is the cave, bro. This is the cave. Yeah? Anyway, with that said, may Allah bless you. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.
Astaghfirullah.